What's up, everybody?
What's up?
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Was that like Fozzie Bear?
Waka waka waka.
Hi, everybody. Out there in internet land. You poor bastards. Welcome to the show.
The show.
Yeah, I want to apologize again. I did not have music ready to present to Mr. Ian, sir. I was working on it, but everything sounded like shit, and sometimes you just got to put it aside and let the juices come back. So.
Oh, you mean that's not what you broke your back doing?
No. Luckily, my keyboard doesn't weigh any fucking thing. I can just do this, but my ears go no.
Hey, it's if this was the same universe as Bill and Ted, everything would be cool, just jamming, you know.
Well, no, they had like a 8-week or 18-week guitar course or something.
Well, yeah, that was when they were able to go back in time or whatever.
Yeah, no, like yeah. Sometimes just everything sounds like shit. I can't make these hands do stuff. It's just beating on the fucking keyboard right now for some reason.
Is that how it used to be, where you could be like, if you just had some cool equipment and you just kind of like jam and stuff, you could kind of like impress some chicks or something a little bit?
Huh?
Well, that's kind of like how they were. They were just like jamming stuff. They just were like into the whole culture, right?
See, I don't know how like Rockstar is getting chicks. I've had women tell me I look sexy playing guitar. I have heard that.
Okay.
So, you know, whether or not I could play. There's that cartoon. It's like the guy was holding a guitar, had a guitar next to him. The girl was like, "Oh, a guitar? Do you play?" He's like, "No, but I think women find me more attractive when I hold it." And he puts an eye. He's like, "How do I look?" And then the girl's naked. So,
well, I'm sure it was like a lot more like that back then, but today I don't think it's like really impressive for women, you know.
Nah, I mean, back then, I mean, I don't know. If you had drugs, you could pick up a girl.
Do you
That's all
think,
you needed.
in general, it's like harder to get girls nowadays? You know, like their standards and stuff.
Okay. See, that depends. I think it's subjective because at my age now, in my 30s, if I went out and tried, I have a smaller pool to pull from because I don't want to be around any kids, and I don't want someone who's a fucking moron.
Frank don't want no pigeons.
Right. No, like I before I met my wife, I took a girl or two out. They're very pretty. Nothing going on upstairs. And you sit down. If you go on, I will go on a date because I would want to know what the person is like. Yes, you can have a physical connection with somebody younger, but I wouldn't do that. I would go out and sit and talk with this person and realize this person is fucking stupid. And at that point, there's nothing you can really do because you have to, you know, sit down and talk to the person at the end of the day. And if you have nothing in common, it's a waste of your fucking time.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
So like, what was it? Like Louis C.K. was saying how, you know, single women his age, you know, are usually single for a reason. They're either with a bunch of kids or they're out hating men. They're not usually out trying to fuck a comic.
Yeah.
So, but how about you? What do you think of your statement? Is it easy or hard for Ian to pick up chicks? These are the things ladies want to know.
Well, I mean, I think I think it seems like it's a lot easier, like, like you're depending on like what your place in life is as far as like if you're in school or out of school. Like definitely in school, I think it's a lot easier because you're around more people all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess it depends on like what your interaction is with the world, I guess, from day to
Right.
day.
Also, if you're in school, then like you said, you're forced to be around the opposite sex more. There's
Yeah.
a higher ratio. I had a friend that lived in Korea for a while, and there's just logistically there's more females than there are males. So of course he's going to end up with a girlfriend.
Well, like for example, when I was in high school, I ended up with this one girl for like 2 years or whatever. Uh, this was like right, like we were talking a little bit in high school, but then after high school we got together. But like I didn't even try to pursue her. In fact, like I was always just doing like I was said before was like I would be sleeping in study hall and then she would always be trying to talk to me, and sometimes I'd be like, damn man, I'm trying to sleep, but this girl keeps trying to talk to me, and so like I eventually started talking to her more and more. So
I
it's like
think
you
one
can't
of
you
the
can't get away from that stuff when you're in high school.
yeah, I think the stereotype that most men don't have a fucking clue of what women want is very true. Like a woman can be into a guy to where everybody will see it, but the guy won't. But then also it goes on the other side of the coin where like
Yeah.
the guys are like, "Oh man, this chick will be all over you." No, they hate your guts. So it's like I said, subjective.
Yeah.
How old are you again?
I'm
I know you
34.
went to college with Ben. You're 34.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, I really didn't date a whole lot in my 20s just because like uh I kind of like am the type of person where I'm like either I'm trying to pursue people or like I'm more focused on myself.
Hmm.
And I was kind of like on myself mode during the 20s and just trying to focus on work and school and stuff.
Got you. You masturbated a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta focus on my work and my career means. But I understand. No, I was always like I was one of those guys who always had a girlfriend for like a long time. I'd always have. Yeah.
You think
I
you
was
kind
not
of are like that
a.
person that kind of needs to have somebody with you,
Well, no, because
keep you
I
in line?
like when I was in college, I wasn't seeing anybody for a little while, and I didn't always have someone living with me either. It was like girls were just different. But like my ex moved in with me, she's like, you know, how do you live like this? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, like even you said though that like your life probably would have been a lot worse if it wasn't for you meeting your wife and stuff.
Oh yeah. I was an alcoholic, and I was just I could have been a lot worse off. I don't even have to think about it. I know it would have been worse off. My like most of the people that in my high school had at least one kid before graduation. Some had two. So it's you know that I could have been stuck with some crazy person because everybody I know who's got kids posts about their crazy baby mama and
Mm,
shit and all the drama they're going through.
baby mama drama.
Yeah, baby mama drama. But I worked with a girl that married a guy that she used to work with, and then they got divorced, and now they're dating. So I guess it works for them, but
Yeah. Some people are always like in that kind of like thing where you like break up and you get back together and
Yeah, that shit's unhealthy.
like yeah.
Like me and my ex in high school, we broke up like 4 or 5 times, and then the last time we split up, I was like, well, we'll get back together in a couple days. And I had a teacher actually tell me, hey, you know that girl you were dating? Yeah. I saw her walking down the hall holding hands with some other guy. Which, now that I think about it, is really inappropriate for a teacher to do. Like, they don't usually get involved in that. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What's for some people their actions don't always directly correlate with how they really feel because like some people could just like yell and scream and then it's like they don't even mean anything by it or whatever and then it's just like it just is nothing turns out to be nothing, you know. For me, like if I'm having like a screaming argument, that's probably like really serious, you know.
yeah, if I'm screaming, I'm usually upset really, really seriously, but I'm also kind of loud. Like, my wife will say, why are you shouting? I don't know. It's not that I'm shouting. It's I don't know how loud I'm getting. Like, especially at work. I work on a loading dock, so it's big and echoey, and you have to be loud. What? Huh?
Well,
And
what's
so,
your definition of a fight?
like a argument fight or like a physical altercation, like
Well, I mean
in a
that's
couple fights.
well that I'm just leaving it generally like up to your
Um,
opinion because some people could consider throwing an actual cup like if you're from Brooklyn or something, they'll you know, you ever see that Ted one of those Ted movies or whatever
yeah,
where he's like throwing the dishes and stuff and then they just like make up after that or whatever.
yeah, no, like
For some people that's not actually like a fight. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah. Well, like my wife gets mad. Why are you fighting with me? I'm like, I'm not. I'm just discussing it. But apparently,
Yeah, to you it's a discussion. To her it might not
right.
seem like more or
I
something, you know.
I understand. It's all about picking, where you're at and actually, paying attention. Like, you're kind of just digging and digging, and it's just gonna piss them off more. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
So, what have you been up to, Frankster?
well, uh, my day to day, I did laundry. Um, went out and restocked my Mountain Dew supply. Well, Surge. Uh,
Oh yeah, let me see here. What what kind of Mountain Dew are you drinking?
oh, right now it's Surge.
Oh, okay.
I bought one of each, the white, the black, and the green labels, because I couldn't remember which one I don't like.
Hmm.
I know one of them I was like, ugh, but I drank it. But
Right.
yeah, for like the weekends, I have to have something with caffeine in it because all I got is like Fanta and Hawaiian Punch and shit, and that won't keep me awake at all. I fall asleep on Mountain Dew. I'll definitely be nodding off.
Yeah.
Won't that make you mad? Fill up an entire cup, put ice in it, and then you fall asleep. You don't drink it.
Really?
Yeah, I've done that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I'm myself. I'm
got
drinking some White Label.
I was gonna say, you got a cup of lean. What is lean? I don't know the exact. Oh, here, Urban Dictionary.
I hear.
Codeine.
I knew what sound effect here. Soda talk.
There you go. Got codeine. Cost scissor is the active ingredient. Sprite. Uh, Jolly Rancher. Huh. Wow. So what's the difference between lean and scissor? Because it says scissor is the first ingredient.
Hmm.
Lean versus scissor. Lean or syrup? Scissor, also known as purple drink, syrup, and lean. Oh, so it's the same thing. It's a mix of codeine-based prescription cough syrup, soda, and often Jolly Ranchers candy. How do people get codeine? Like, I know Lil Wayne drinks so much of this shit, he started having seizures.
Shit, man. I don't even know.
Like, codeine, like, the doctors are like, no, you're drinking this just to get fucked up. And then, hey, Lil Wayne does it. Justin Bieber is doing it. So, I'm not saying anything. I'm not pro drug use. But fucking Justin Bieber, fuck that motherfucker. Stevie Ray Vaughan is dead. And yet,
Yeah.
fucking Justin Bieber just keeps pumping out the fucking song. Also, I've been looking into like music production. I've been messing with the music software and everything. And like find out what the difference is between a producer, a DJ, and like a beat mixer and all that. And that dude, DJ Khaled, I don't know what he does other than go, DJ Khaled. Like I saw an interview where he talked, he's like, I put records out. He's like, I don't just record it. He's like, some guys are just the artist. He's like, if they want a hit record, come see me. I'll get you one. Like, okay, a little pompous.
Yeah.
If it gets any bigger, he won't be able to leave the studio. But
Yeah. I don't know, like it's crazy just like all the inventions people make with like pharmaceuticals and stuff and just like getting high. That's why like I don't know. I think like just like the whole idea of drugs is starting to become like prohibition was, where it's like you might as well just not even regulate chemicals because people are going to use any kind of chemicals if you ban one thing and then people are going to do this other thing and find out how to do
well,
it.
I don't know. Heroin's a really bad thing here in Ohio. I'm sure you're aware of that. I personally have no experience with it, thank God.
Yeah.
I know people whose families are tore apart because they have relatives that do it, and like all the Facebook posts. It's not a disease; it's a choice. Okay, that's just because you're privileged. You don't have an addiction. You don't know the fucking struggle. I have an addictive personality. The fact that I didn't get involved in any of that, not to be religious, is a fucking blessing from God, because I so could have been. Just the drinking, I damn near killed myself. And that's legal shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could have had babies with some crazy heifer. I could have, God knows what, and strung out on what. I know people that have screwed up their veins to the point where they're, got irreplaceable damage from doing needle shit. And
Yeah.
no, I don't know. Thank God, no.
Well, the thing is, though, is like there's plenty of ways to mess up your life or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
why should one thing like be banned but not the other if they're both just as addictive?
Well, like weed, I think if we have it government regulated, then people are going to go, well, why would I go here when I can just go to the government store?
Yeah.
And like,
Plus, yeah, you have like a lot of people that get killed in like drug shootouts with the police and stuff. And it's like you could actually save lives just from that.
I don't want to say let everything be legal, because no, I can't have that. If everything was legal, then certain just you can't trust people. Like if killing was legal, then we would start, like Louis C.K. said, we would start judging people that don't kill at least one person. He didn't kill at least one person. He's fucking weird. And if killing was legal, people with kids, there'd be designated spots to put the bodies of your murdered kids throughout the landscape. To be, please put your child in the murdered child bag. And only if your child is already murdered or else you are murdering another child. There'd be a warning. Sorry, going off topic here. But yeah.
But it's just that, like, I mean, the source of it though is like, you gotta people need to be, like, need better family and stuff in their life to help them not even think about going down those types of roads.
Yeah, but that's a hard topic to touch on because, like, people with shitty families and stuff, what do you do? I mean,
Yeah.
politicians already don't want to, they say they want to, help people and all that, but then they don't really want to give the money to the funding for whatever Medicaid, Medicare. They want to chop that in half.
Yeah.
After school programs are pretty much non-existent. Education is, the kids are retarded now. I'm sorry, they were stupid when I was in school. Don't get me wrong. I knew some people who should not have got out of fucking high school, sailed right on through, and now kids are just straight up retarded.
Right.
So, but who do you blame? I mean, how do you fix it? I mean, people
Yeah,
people don't want to pay the extra school tax to have a better school because I don't have any kids in the school system. Yeah, but someone has to fucking pay,
yeah.
So, but anyway,
Yeah.
we're getting way off topic here.
Right.
How many stories do we have this week? Ian, do you have a whole ton?
You don't have anything else that you want to say about yourself? Did you want to talk about your back or whatever?
No,
I
just
hinted
heard
at that.
I have a physical job, and at some point, it was either at work or off. I don't know. I started having pain in my back. I'm hoping it's not that. It sucks. I'm hoping it goes away because it could be a pinch. Because it's my hip down to my knee last week, and then now this week it's staying mainly in my hip and my lower back. So I've got an ergonomic chair that, hoping that helps. Bending over and getting shit is the worst thing in the world. So not really a whole lot been going on.
So you're not going to be bending over backwards for anybody anytime soon?
No. When I drop something, I really have to think about whether or not I value that item. I go, I don't need that fucking pen, and just keep on trucking. Because as it is, when I bend over to pick something up, I literally go, ow, 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 out loud. So people are like, God damn, you're in your 30s. I go, yeah, I'm not going to be worth the fuck when I get older. I know this. But what can I do? So
it's like you drop it on the floor, you're like, oh man, that's gone now.
Yeah. And I won't see that again. One of you young people bend over and pick that up. I love, at the place I work at, the loading dock, I love when we bring in young people. I'm like, oh, good, we got some young stupid person who doesn't hurt yet. Let them hurt themselves. Oh, he hurt himself. Yeah, now you're one of us now. Now you're a normie. Because, like, I knew this guy, like, seriously, was like throwing pallets on top of each other, making a stack like it was a race. And I go, you don't get nothing by getting all those put over there faster, right? Just might hurt yourself. No, I can do this fast. I said, okay.
Yeah. I just
seeing people get hurt and do workers' comp and shit, that sucks. So no, don't hurt yourself.
Right.
That's how I noticed I had my leg, when it was hurting in my leg, is because I squat down to pick stuff up. Lift with your legs, not with your back. Because seriously, if you lift with your back, you're fucking your back up. So
yeah.
That's what we're here to teach you. And don't drink lean. Unless you're Justin Bieber. Fuck that guy. So did our first article of business, did you want to discuss some setups there, or did you
can I talk about what I was up to?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
We started talking about drugs, and then my mind had flashbacks, man.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see that movie. I don't know if you were into that show Workaholics or whatever.
No.
Well, all three of those guys are doing a new movie with Seth Rogen called Game Over. So
game over, man.
Game over.
The cool thing about watching a lot of YouTube, as I do, is there are multiple channels that are set up just for trailers of stuff.
Mm.
Um, so I see trailers for stuff that they don't have commercials for. So just watching regular television, you're not going to see. Um, and like, there's a movie coming out that's like, you remember the movie Groundhog Day, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is a similar storyline. There's a girl that wakes up, it's her birthday, and she goes out and she's a young, pretty girl, whatever. And then at the end of the day, she gets murdered. And she wakes up and it's her fucking birthday again, and she's reliving the same day over and over. And someone goes, "Why don't you find out who killed you?" And she's like, "Dumb bitch hadn't thought of that." And I'm like, kind of interested in that now. I want to see that stupid movie because now I got to know who this guy is. But also, there's a TV series on Netflix coming out I want to see based off of a sci-fi book I've read. There's 3 in the series. I read the first 2. I got halfway through the third one, and it's but the first one's good. So the series is going to be based off of the first one. But it's in production now, and you can even add it to your Netflix queue now, but it's not going to come out till next year.
Oh, okay.
And there's another book I read in 2011 that nothing's been released about. Like, it was in talks that year to like be a movie, and Spielberg actually got in his hands on it because the book references pop culture and Steven Spielberg movies and all that. So of course he's going to reference me. I gotta tackle it. So it's slated for release next year, and I forgot all about it because, like I said, it came out in 2011, and one of my buddies at work mentioned it. I go, "Oh yeah, let me see what progress on that." And if you go to IMDb, it'll tell you who's in it. And I just saw the casting, and because all they have literally is some stills from the set and the cast members, and like the T.J. Miller's in it and Simon Pegg, and I'm like, oh, please don't tell me they're playing the main characters, because I couldn't remember the characters' names. I had to look it up. No, they're not. Somebody else is. So whew, I was worried.
Right.
But yeah, when's this thing slated for release? It's the book Ready Player One, by the way, by Ernest Cline. He's written 2 books. I read the first one. The second one, I haven't had a chance to read yet. But I didn't know how to explain it either. Like, I had to read the summary. I was trying to explain it to my coworkers, and then I read the summary, and it's not even a paragraph. I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is about.
Yeah, that Groundhog Day movie though always gives me deja vu.
Well, yeah, it's a great movie. Ready Player One. When the creator of an MMO dies, he releases a video in which he challenges the users to find his Easter egg, which will give the finder his fortune. And it's a story about the race to get the Easter eggs. So
yeah,
I'm sitting there going, how the hell do I explain that? And I read that. I'm like, oh, whoever wrote that should get something, because shit, I couldn't. Doesn't look like it's that popular for some fucking reason. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
I made another
right. But yeah, I'm almost done. I was trying to organize and tidy up my older computer build here, so I could finally get that up and running. Let me turn it around, but it's pretty nice and neat, and I actually got it cleaner with this different power supply. I have it on here, and it's not even modular, all the cables that they use with it, but it's actually neater because I have all the cables going straight and then behind the setup,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I were to be using a modular power supply, all the cables are more spread out then a little bit because all the connectors are all over the thing, you know.
So you're still on your XP machine now, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, I put this other fan on the other side of this thing, so I got two fans on this now.
Mm.
I got the white one and then the black one on this side.
Hmm.
You can kind of
Cool.
see it. Yeah. Let me do this here. Um. I don't mean to open up Cody on my phone by accident.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So I hate using a flashlight on a touch screen. You know.
Right.
But there, you can see a lot better now.
Mm. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then there's, like I said, there's the CPU cooler.
Cool. Cool.
Um, yeah, so the two fans. I use some double-sided tape, and then I use the zip ties on it too. So it, uh, with the zip ties, I want to make sure it's like seated on there solid. So like you can't even. It's like one piece now.
Right.
Uh, but the only other thing I got to do is I got to put uh, I put an extra fan on there, so it's got like 5 fans, but it's only got three. The motherboard only has 3 fan headers on it.
Oh.
And like I could I could use one of these things here that I have. Uh, this one of these things that helps you like daisy chain them,
Mm.
but that's kind of I want to make this like as neat as possible. So I was gonna mess around with doing. I was gonna try snipping this off and then uh, uh, trying to solder this onto this so it's daisy chained as part of the fan because that's how my CPU core fan is. It has like an extra connector on the cord for so you could daisy chain a second one like how I have on the heatsink.
Is that your A350 there?
Yeah. So I'm just trying to make this one as best as I can while I'm still saving up for my other parts for my new computer.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm messing with that, and what's cool is I was playing around with this connector just because I'm gonna use this to test out the fan before I just so I don't mess with my computer or something after I solder the things together.
Right.
I was gonna test it on this. I have this little battery it's a 12-volt lithium battery that I had. Like if I wanted to do like the LED stuff, if I wanted to make it portable, so I didn't have to plug it into the wall. But see this thing here. And if you
Mm.
turn it on, you can turn the fan on then with just this battery
Mm-hmm.
because the LEDs are 12 volts. The fan is 12 volts. All your computer fans are.
Hmm.
That makes it for a nice portable fan.
Gotcha.
And so I was going to practice with that so I can solder 2 connectors on here so I could daisy chain so I could fit 5 fans. I was going to do that to 2 of the fans. So I could have 5 fans fit into the 3 headers, like I said. So,
Hmm.
but
Cool.
I might have to do that with my new computer too because I forget the specs on a motherboard that I bought, but I think it was like maybe even less. It was only 2 uh, fan headers or something on the board. It varies board by board, obviously.
It was an Asus motherboard, wasn't it?
Yeah, Both of my
Prime?
computers are Asus.
Is it the Prime 350?
Well, the one that I bought was the Asus X370.
Oh, X370. Okay, gotcha. I was gonna look it up here while you.
But yeah, I mean, I have an old computer I could have tested this out with, but this makes it easier with this little battery.
Right.
Um, yeah, and I'm just generally having fun doing this computer. Just
Oh yeah.
taking around with all this computer stuff. I've never really put much effort into computer building before.
Oh
As
yeah.
I'm sure. Well, I know you haven't either. I mean, I'm sure you've gotten pretty excited about all this stuff. Because you're always on
Oh,
watching those battle station Reddits.
oh yeah. I mean, I kind of got everything together, and then I put it together one night, and I was like a little kid on Christmas. I was just taking everything out of the box. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Right.
But it was best to do it around Christmas time because A, that's when I had the extra money, and B, it was cooler because it's hot as hell in here in the summer.
Yeah.
Seeing how many fan headers, package content. I mean, I'll just Google it. Fuck it. Anyway,
Yeah. I don't feel like going through the manual in the box.
oh no, I Google what it is and it pulls up the shit. 70 fan headers. Uh, PDF version. 2 chassis fan connectors. 4-pin. Overclockers dot or Pro Clockers has a review. Let's see how they
Yeah,
the
I think it
BIOS.
had more of the 4-pin PWM things.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know
Lower
what
front
like the. Oh, good.
Says lower front section of the board also contains the second USB 2 headers, a thermal sensor header, dual fan headers, and the front panel header. Water pump header. You could hook it up to that. You're not using a fucking water pump.
Right.
USB 3.1 connector. Anyway,
Um.
did you have some
Hold on.
and Ian has stepped away, ladies and gentlemen. He's fiddling around. Fiddling around. Fiddling around. Sitting back down.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said Ian has got up and he's fiddling around. He's
Yeah.
fiddling around and he's back.
Well, the fan on this just died out. I was gonna try to get like I was maybe looking for my other fan to see if it was the fan or if it was just the battery was dead.
Someone asked on Tom's Hardware, "Hey guys, I'm looking at the specs for the 370 Pro and it says 2 chassis fan connectors, 2x4 pin, one AIO pump connector, 1x4 pin, and one water pump connector, 1x4 pin."
Yeah. I don't
So
know what
someone,
the different the differences with the pins are because like with this one little thing that came with my power supply, this little daisy chain thing. It's for a 3-pin, but I guess you only need the red and black for it to send the positive and negative to it. And the third yellow, which is I guess usually yellow, I guess you don't need that, but I don't know what like it really does. It might just be for reading the signal for the motherboard, and then maybe the PWM, like the fourth one, lets you write to it or something, so you can control the fan speed. Then I guess.
Oh, someone says, "Can I connect them to the pump connectors?" It says, "Yes, you can, but you have to check in the BIOS for the PWM settings." Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, if I wanted to plug it into one of the PWM things, I'd have to get some kind of adapter or something,
Excuse me.
or I'd have to figure out a way of making my own. I guess I don't know.
I don't know.
This is what I do. This is why I like tinkering with stuff, is because you can't always find a solution just buying it. You know,
Right.
you
Okay.
can't always find what you need
You
at the
can't
store.
always get what you want.
No, you can't. But yeah, this week though. For by the way, are you gonna do some music for? You think we should have some music for battle stations?
Uh, Hold on there, Chief. Let's see if what I can pump out here.
Well, I'm not. I just figure while you're doing, it's just an idea, because while you're trying to do the intro, I might as well do it for that too. I guess I don't
Right.
know.
No, I understand. I'm saying yes, I should, but will I? Well, time will tell. So,
uh, but yeah, this week I was doing for my setups at least. I was sticking with the uh, like the vehicle mods, but I wasn't just limiting it to like converted buses. I was looking just for like pimped out like entertainment, like with TVs and stuff, like something you'd see on Pin My Ride or whatever, with various vehicles. Like I
I
think I
wonder
have
what
a
was on the list.
converted bus in there, a
The one you
converted
sent me was
limo, and a van.
One Directions tour bus.
Yeah.
So I was like, "The hell is he doing? Send me to this site." Let me screen share here, and you'll see why I'm confused here. So I got a email that Ian sends me, and I see these guys here with the Justin Bieber hair.
Uh,
It's what is this? No, yeah, Norwegian. A pimp bus.
well, that didn't show up in my browser, and like I don't even remember seeing that. Like I was just focused on trying to find the picture. I was just using Google image search.
You're like, look at this cool bus. Yeah, never mind the bus. Look at the dudes that are trying to pick up girls on the bus.
Dude, that could have been a giant penis, and I wouldn't have even like seen it probably.
Yeah,
But I guess tomato, tomato, right?
yeah. All these young boys are going, man, I could fuck girls on that couch. Because it's One Direction. I know that they're young boys, but they're doing it. That's what they're trying to do. And then his other post, he
Their
sent me,
mind is that because their mind is only going one direction?
oh, no homo. Here's a joke. How did 5 gay guys walk?
Uh,
In one direction. I I love gay people. Please, I do. Yeah, what the fuck is that? A limo or bus? I guess it's a
yeah, I
party
think the
bus.
second one is a limo. Yeah.
I don't know. There's stairs on it, so it makes me think it's a party bus. And then this one, I mean, it's padded and cool, but it still looks like a fucking minivan.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was kind of cool because it's like you didn't have to change the seats too much, but it's still like a theater. It's kind of like theater seats are arranged that way anyway, so it's kind of like a theater.
Yeah, how pissed off you think the driver is? I can't see none of this. Come on now, I want to watch Sports Center.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah. So
it's just
the One
cool.
Direction's bus, I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Can you zoom in on one of those pictures or whatever? Like a good angle there?
No.
Like you
I click
can't.
on it.
Can you
No.
open like view image or something?
Uh,
Right click.
yeah,
That's what
you
I
just
usually do.
it just opens it in a thing. Hold on, let me see if well, I have a shortcut to. Nope, doesn't do anything. Nope, because if you open a new tab, it doesn't do anything.
Well, in Firefox, you could do like use like control and then you use the mouse wheel to zoom in
Yeah,
and out of the website.
yeah. I don't do Firefox.
Uh,
Sorry,
but
but yeah, that
I
one's
mean, it looks
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, this one's a little bit too much LED even for me. Cause
Yeah,
yeah, it looks like they're trying to put a black light on you, searching for evidence here.
yeah.
And I click the zoom, and it just opens up these other fucking pictures here. I
Yeah,
don't care
Pinterest
about.
is like so confusing all the time. It's like
Well,
you think
yeah,
it's like part of the thing or something though. There's
the,
suggestions.
the way that it's laid out is a pain in the ass because like I'll Google image search something and I'll click it and it's like, hey, you want to open this in Pinterest? I'm like, no,
No, I don't want your fucking app.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want your app. I don't want to see the other pictures that like. Wow, look at this.
Yeah, it's like what are those other pictures even got the fuck to do with it?
Yeah, oh, a limo, another limo.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
that I swear I think that's a limo. That's what I at least was in the description of the link or whatever.
it. Well, see, like, because like I said, it's got a stairway right here.
Well,
But
some of those limos are like, like those like SUV height or whatever, where you
yeah,
gotta like
that's true.
need stairs to get up
Fucking
to the
Hummer right
thing.
here.
Yeah.
See, this one actually like a fucking bus excursion. But
Um.
so out of these three, which is your favorite, sir?
Hmm. Yeah, actually, I that first one I found last week before when I was trying to research the setups from last week's. But let me see. Go back to the second one.
The the bus limo thing.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like that's a small TV though.
Yeah,
You
especially
could
if you're in the back here.
yeah. Well, you could tell that the TV definitely wasn't like the main focus of the thing.
Right. They're like, okay, we got all these cush seats, and hey, man, let's stick a TV in there. You sure? But okay.
Yeah. Well, while that one might be more like I don't know, like fancy and for like more for like rich people and executives and stuff. Like I I would probably still like the first one.
This one or this one?
Yeah, the red one, the one with the red seats.
This one or this one? Yeah. Yeah. Even though One Direction used this one, it's very plush.
Yeah, they have like a giant TV where it's like it looks like it's a room or something. It's not like
Yeah.
you don't even know if that was on wheels if you're just to show the picture.
Right. And then it looks like they got an Xbox down here in the corner.
Yeah, and that one's definitely more fun. The
Plus,
second one is more for like grown-ups.
yeah. Well, this is like you tour, you try to, meet girls like we were talking earlier, and you got a
Yeah,
big place and you can go to sleep in it. Uh, this one is like, hey, we're on our way to the prom. Woo!
yeah.
Okay, everyone out of the fucking thing. Woo!
It's just meant to be comfortable, I guess.
Yeah. And then this
Get some
one is
drinks.
like, you have a football team on their way to the next game.
But
Essentially,
that
that's the vibe I'm getting.
that one's cool, but I feel like more people would be able to. That's like more obtainable for like the average guy. I just think
Yeah,
it's cool because it's like theater seats, but it's just regular seats,
well, it looks kind of like an RV that they put a big ass TV on.
Yeah,
But only thing is, it kind of looks like this, which no one wants to be like in the fucking plane.
right.
So that's the
So
only.
would you say it's the order that was given? Is your order?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. One Direction, then Old Blue, and then whatever. Like this is obtainable, but that makes it less luxurious.
Yeah.
Like this one got swivel fucking seat. What is this? A panty wagon? Like seriously, you got a desk and a fucking like. Is that a printer? And you can't even zoom. You hit zoom and it opens up these. What the hell? I hit zoom and it brings up these other bullshit
Oh,
searches.
Pinterest.
Fuck you, Pinterest. Okay,
I'm on. Are you? So you're unpinterested?
I have a Pinterest account just so I can pull up these stupid apps because half of the pictures only pull up if you have the app. So, but anyway,
Yeah, I made a Pinterest account before, and then this one friend that I really don't talk to that much, like, and I don't didn't post anything really that much on Pinterest, and like she followed me on it for some reason. It's like you
oh
must really
yeah,
like Pinterest.
right. See, I have this is essentially my desk right here.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. By the way, I'm probably gonna go back to the regular setup. So I just wanted to get the wheels done with the wheel
it's
setups.
summer. Put them on a summer tour. Woo!
Yeah.
See, this is kind of a similar thing of what I got, but the shittier picture. So this guy's even got he's got the Razer Naga mouse.
Is this from Average Battle Stations?
No, this is actually regular battle stations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know what kind of chair that is. It's an ergonomic mesh one though, so that's kind of similar to what I got.
Ergo
He's
chairs.
he's got like looks like a Rode mic, I think. Some audio engine speakers. I can't tell. Is that a LG? Yeah, it's an LG monitor. Oh no, he's got a Corsair mouse. I thought it was the Razer, but he's got the fucking what do you call those? The Sennheiser headphones, which I really want. Those are the 600s. He's got a damn Razer laptop, which had to cost some money.
Yeah. He's got like the Michael Bay lighting on it.
Yeah, it's like whoa.
Ding. Ding.
But yeah, I just pulled it up because he's got the same. Um, I went with the black drawers just because everyone else does white, and I've got an oak countertop because I wanted a heavier duty wood. Now he's got under his monitor here, he's got a that's a what's that damn company Steinberg audio interface
Uh,
that he's got his. I'm assuming he's got his mic hooked up to in his headphones. I would
Steinberg.
yeah Steinberg, and then that's a shit. Trying to look at it, I'm not 100% sure if it's a. Uh, it's either a headphone amp or a passive selector switch for his, where you can switch between your headphones and your speakers.
Mm,
Because when you have speakers, a lot of times you don't have a volume control. So
right.
I can't quite tell. That's either a shit sis or a shit magni. And he's got Xbox One controller up top. Corsair extended mouse pad. Fucking weeb. Look at this weeb.
Doug.
But
Yeah, weeb.
like But yeah, so this guy, like I said, has pretty much the exact same setup. He's just got more stuff. So I just wanted to share what mine looks like. I haven't got more monitors, so I didn't want to drill any other holes in this thing until I get another monitor, and so I know exactly where everything's going.
By the way, Doug, here's that fidget spinner again. I'm a weeb, right?
Right. And look at this thing though. This is cool. This is open up a new tab, see if it makes it any bigger. Just a little bit. It's got a nice wood desk, which I always go for. These little rinky-dink speakers, which I think are kind of shitty. I think is that a sound bar at the top of his monitor?
Hmm.
Acer. He's got an orange guitar amp with pedal board. A couple guitars up here. Decent little microphone over here. And he has his specs on the other page here. He says,
is that like on a boom pole?
Yeah. Over behind his desk.
Yeah.
So his movements are very limited.
Right. That's more of like a stage kind of like mic, I guess.
It fits the aesthetic because he's got the guitars, so you think stage.
That's true.
And then he's got it's an Asus motherboard, a Phenom. Oh boy.
Well, if you're doing a lot with that, then that is a Phenom, isn't it?
XFX Radeon HD 770 1 gigabyte. Corsair Vengeance RAM. Only a 500 gigabyte hard drive and another terabyte drive.
Well, like this old my computer now is it's an HD 7850 with 2 gigs of RAM, but it was an overclocked model, so like I read on the specs it's pretty much equivalent to like a 290 or something like that. The speed. So like I mean it's not too bad. I guess it could play like GTA 5 and shit, so
yeah, this guy's setup is really more or less just you know, if you're playing guitar, you don't need a whole lot of guts. And it fits an aesthetic and a vibe he's got going. He's got the wood and carpet.
Yeah, my only gripe with setups like, and maybe this is just being nitpicky or whatever, but like I used to have my desks and stuff next to my bed, but that was just out of necessity because you had to shove it in there somewhere because that's like all the space that you had. But I feel like if you're really trying to have a really good setup, you're trying to get away from like when you were a kid and stuff, you know, having your computer in your bedroom.
Well, this is my guest room, which is why I've got it in here. So check it out. Look at this guy.
Well, you have it. At least you got it like in front of it. Like I feel like it's more like it looks better when it's away from the bed versus when it's like right next to your bed. You know, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's separated more of like an office area. You know.
Well, I mean, this is right. My desk now is right next to my bed because there's no room for it. But anyway, this guy, I thought this was a glass desk, which is why I was like, "Hey, look, Ian, it's you," but it's not. It's wood. But look at these control sticks he's got here. What the fuck are?
It's like some of these pictures are sort of shady. That's another thing I would like nitpick about is just the quality of the picture. Like I remember that one picture that guy had that was like really professional.
Right.
Like it looks like it looks kind of like grainy and like the colors like washed out or something on it.
This one looks like he lit a smoke, like he started a smoke machine up, and then said, "Okay, bring up the camera."
Is that like a Polaroid?
Yeah, like
it's like he scanned a Polaroid of it.
Yeah, it's like his whole picture looks like when you look at somebody in a photo and their eyes are red. That's what this whole photo is like. I'm the asshole that's on battlestations all the time that hops into people's posts and say, "Sorry, dude, you need another picture. We can't even see what the fuck we're looking at." They're like, "I don't want to turn on my lights because my cables aren't clean." Well, then don't take the fucking picture and don't submit it, you idiot.
But yeah, I mean, like if you're trying to make it presentable and stuff, like that's the whole point is for the picture itself to look good. You know, it's like we can't be there in your room to check your setup out. You know.
Yeah, well, those are usually the guys that lead with, so I'm only 15. No one gives a fuck how old you are. I don't give a shit that you saved up your coins.
Well, yeah, they try to preface it so you aren't so hard. You don't judge it so harshly. So it's like I'm only 15. I don't have that much money, so this is like really good for
This is the
my
best
age.
I
You
can
know.
get, but it isn't anything.
So even with having said that, you should judge mine better than the other people that really didn't put as much effort into their setup, even though they probably could have. You know.
Right. And like, I had to get on this one guy because he posted a picture of his, and it would have been okay, but wait, I'm finding the. Hold on. Here we go.
I mean, people just like should have like rules on there where it's like, don't tell us your life story when you're trying to post it. Just post the specs and
Oh,
like
there's
the
that.
hardware. You
Someone,
know.
someone posted a how-to battle station. They're like, don't post fuzzy pictures. Don't post shit that you're like, what the fuck? Like this guy posted this, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man, but that fucking LED light strip is just lazy. You just laid it there.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not.
like laying that light strip on that power supply in that case.
Yeah, I was like, well, he's literally he just draped it across the desk and called it a day. I'm like, that's lazy, man. Just stick it on the fucking back of the table. And he's like, I would, but I haven't had time to put it on yet. Well, then you didn't have time to take the picture. Then I said I
Yeah,
got a 6 foot desk and I did 2 runs, and you know what? I did it. Fuck off, man.
yeah.
Come on.
Well, like me, like see, this is the here's the I got four of these LED strips bundled together just so it's I don't lose them, but like I have these nice and cut in the end strips so I can start soldering these. But
Hmm.
yeah, like I'm gonna be placing these behind the like say I have this I'm not gonna put LEDs in my old one like I said, but just for reference, like I'm actually gonna be sticking them behind the thing so you don't even see them, you know.
Hmm. Right. You're
That's
supposed to
how it
see.
should be. You should be putting thought into your shit, man. You
Yeah,
know?
you're supposed to see the effect that they have, not the actual
Yeah.
source, because the source
Yeah,
is
you don't want to
stupid.
be seeing all of these bright things like glaring in your face, you know?
Right. Or do you enjoy holding a flashlight to your face? Because that's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, you turn it off and you go, eh. That's what you're supposed to do. Dumbasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's just like I've been, you know, like I cut these and I've been trying to plan out like my arrangement of the case, you know, like Line, Linus said, like, when you're trying to like doing cable management and making your setup look good, like, and this took me a couple of days to try to get my computer really set. Like the whole basement of the computer is empty. You know, I have all the cords like zip tied and stuff. You know, there's I don't even this computer you don't even really need a basement cover for it. You know,
Hmm.
and every cable that you put in there needs to have thought about like how you're where you're gonna put it and where it should route to. You know,
Right.
it's just people don't really like put too much thought into their setup, but they want more praise for it than they might get
Yeah.
or
They
get
they
for it. You
you
know.
know they throw a monitor and a fucking tower and a keyboard together and go, look what I did. And you're like, no, you're lucky if you did average, because
Like,
anybody can have an average station. It's not hard.
yeah, that goes in the average stations, right?
Yeah, and if you what you do is if you feel like it's a piece of shit, you post it, and they'll tell you, oh no, dude, you should put this in regular, or oh no, this goes in shitty.
Yeah, and that's why me or Frank really haven't like tried to post or have our builds as like judging our own setups, like because we're not even really ready to say, yeah, I'm confident enough to post this.
I don't think that this spot for the keyboard opening was like that. This looks like he made this.
Yeah.
That's little.
Hold on, let me click. Go back to it. Just so we can see. I didn't have it clicked on you. I had it before, but I switched when I was showing the LED. Oh, okay.
He's got one of those HPs, the computer that's like in a little cone shaped thing there.
Yeah.
Looks like a Bluetooth speaker.
Right.
But Dale Earnhardt Jr. Like, look, yeah, this is what you see at average station. It's just a bunch of shit thrown on a desk, tower and fucking monitors included. It's just a bunch of shit. You can see this at Goodwill all day long.
You know what? We should do that next week. We should judge some average battle stations and be like, this is why they should be in there. That's why they're average. You know, like what could they have done to make them a lot better?
This guy posted, any advice on how to improve? And people are like, well, yeah, clean up your fucking cables, dude. And like,
yeah,
I followed some advice. Look at it. It's like 10 times better.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, why do you have a coffee pot right there? And why is the keyboard at you're typing facing the wall, but you gotta look to the right to see your monitor?
Yeah, he moved it. The other picture was like on the side desk, right?
Yeah, now it makes sense. Now you're actually sitting at the fucking thing and typing. Dumbass. Why do people do this?
Oh, was the before with the monitor in the middle, or was?
Here's his before.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
So it makes sense that this is better.
Yeah.
Because, you're not turning your neck sideways. Put the coffee maker in the fucking kitchen where it belongs.
Yeah, I read somebody that like messed up their back really bad, just like after years of like, because they would always have to like twist and turn to work on like another computer, so like they wouldn't even like because they had like multiple computers and keyboards, they wouldn't even bother turning their whole body most of the time. They would always be like typing on the other computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back to the other one or whatever.
Well, they make software where you can, use one keyboard for multiple machines. I mean,
oh, is that like that thing where you could like drag your mouse across like multiple?
Yeah, like I
remote
have
computers.
Because my Dell, I had it hooked up to the with this computer, and they function like one computer. They're also Synergy. Synergy, if you have multi-platform, like you can use Windows and Mac, and I think some Linux operating systems. But if you're just a straight up Windows computers, then yeah, you can use just a mouse without borders. This guy posted his standing desk, and I was like, it might be a little easier to cable manage if you actually put your computer in a fucking tower. Because look, he's got like screwed to the bottom of his desk with this 24-inch stick of solid aluminum as a heat sink. See?
Yeah.
With some little tack on heat sinks.
That's gonna blow up.
The FX 6100 at 4.6 gigahertz across 6 cores and 4.7 gigahertz on 4. I wouldn't screw that onto some MFD or MDF. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say MDF.
Yeah, I mean, but look at it. Look at it.
Wow.
It's hideous.
Well, we seem to have gotten sidetracked though. Like, what's your 3 main ones that you had?
Hold on, close this. I had this one, and this one isn't as good a picture as this one, but I'll say this one. Oh, okay. So this guy who's got an ultra wide in the same desk as me, and apparently a, a vertical monitor too.
Yeah.
This guy has the same desk as me, and I think even an ultra wide in this one. So if I had to choose my top two, I'd probably go with this one as number one.
Mm.
Number one. Probably this is number two, just because it's got so much character. And then this
I
one,
actually I like that one first, and then the that one second, and then the one with the bed in it third.
well, see, I only thing that makes me like this better is he's got better headphones.
Right.
He's got he's got the Sennheisers. Those are $300 headphones with the audio engine speakers and a Sennheiser. He's got good equipment. You can't tell by looking at it. But then this one's
Right.
got character. So
Yeah, it does. I can see why you would like that one.
I mean, doesn't
Which one
have
had the most votes, though?
uh well. Oh, and this one got flack because there's no you can't see the tower. I forgot.
Oh, they like people like seeing the tower, huh?
Oh, it's in the rules. It's rule one. You got to show a tower. If not, it can be removed. So I don't even know.
Well, what if you have like an iMac though, where it's built
Mm,
into the monitor,
see, I
or like a
actually
Surface or whatever, the
yeah.
Surface
See,
Pros.
right. See, I said something once. I'm like, no, an iMac is not a fucking because people used it before as a battle station. I'm like, no, and then they thought I was giving them hate because it was a Mac, and I'm like, no, I have an iMac, but I don't count it as a battle station. I don't give a fuck if it's got the 5K Retina bullshit. Um,
Those Surface Pros are pretty powerful. Those
oh
supposed
yeah,
to be, aren't they?
yeah, and they come with a terabyte hard drive,
Yeah.
from the factory.
What about laptops? If everything's running off a laptop,
Oh no,
because a lot
that's
of
in the. Do you not read the sidebar? Do you
no,
not
I
know?
don't.
Okay, here we go. Battle station rules right here on the right hand side. One, complete desktop battle stations only. Your submission must include a tower. No
Uh,
submissions of just components, and no laptops. There's an extended rule one information. Let's open that up. Read that. Yeah, here we go. Extended explanations for removal. If your post was removed for this purpose, there are 5 possible reasons why. It's a submission of laptop, go to battletops. Your submission does not include a tower. Must include a tower. Your submission includes the tower, but your photo is too dark to clearly see the tower, or your tower is barely in the photo. Upload a new photo or resubmit. Does not include all components of a desktop. Must show all components, which makes the desktop complete. This would be a minimum: a mouse, keyboard, monitor, and a tower.
hmm.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. And as soon as I comment, sorry, this doesn't meet the rules, people are like, I bet you're fun at parties. And I'm like, that was funny the first time I heard it.
Well, like it's just I've seen people with like those, just like an Apple laptop or whatever, like a MacBook Pro or something, and but they have like all this crazy audio stuff that just is like, like all the audio processing goes through all their equipment, but then
Right.
everything is just like recorded onto like a small laptop.
Right. And it's like, okay, but it won't be on battle stations. You can put it on battle tops because they'll flag it and remove it. This is the post I was looking for. This guy was like, well, what could I do for my speakers? Can you see where his speakers are in this picture?
On the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, get some fucking stands, dude. Well, actually, everybody's like, get a real desk. And he's like, gee, thanks for bringing that up. I hadn't thought of that. So I commented, well, you might want to get some stands. And also, your monitor is the middle of the screen is supposed to be right at eye level. I don't think that his monitor is eye level. So,
Well, at least he doesn't violate one of your rules and has a subwoofer on the floor.
well, that's where the subwoofer belongs. The speakers are on the floor though. The speakers and the monitor should be at ear level.
Well, what if he has like those giant speakers that are meant to that go up to like your waist? You know.
Then he shouldn't be using those on the desk.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, if when is it okay for them to be on the floor if they're like really huge?
No, ideally the sound is supposed to come straight to your ears. So certain size just does not work on a desk because it's too big.
Yeah.
8-inch will work on a desk. Anything above 8-inch, and you're asking for trouble. But 8-inch, like 8-inch studio monitors are like $200-300 a piece. So
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the audiophile guys that I watch that do reviews, there's one guy he tries them in his home theater and he tries them on the desk, and he'll tell you these are not meant for desks. These are home theater speakers.
Well, like, would you ever put like 6 feet tall speakers like on your desktop? Well, not on top of the
No,
desk, but like for your computer. Would you have those for your computer?
if they sounded really good, yes, but you would ideally put them on the floor with the with the woofer, not the subwoofer, the woofer of the speaker as close to your ear as possible. A couple of guys like Zeos, he prefers to mount them upside down so the tweeter is on the bottom, so that it is
Uh,
closer to your ears when it's on a riser. But
those
yeah,
those stands are expensive too, just for the stand, aren't they? They're like $100
$45.
just for. Yeah, you just get paying for like a pole, pretty much.
Yeah, but a pole that's got a weighted bottom that's not going to fall over. So
Right.
you get what you want. I mean, you can just sit them on your desk. I was looking at where are they? Oh, three. Oh, whoop. Like the 308s, and where's the pictures? Customer reviews. Yeah, here you go. Is this what you're talking
Uh,
about? Where the guy has a laptop and big ass speakers?
yeah, you just yeah have all this recording equipment and audio stuff that that just revolves around a little laptop.
See, here's a guy with 305s on his desk and 308s on top of whatever the hell speakers these are, and a sub on the floor
Right.
on top of a desk that I think costs $7. But well, okay, no, 7 plus the legs are anyway.
Well, so who had the most votes again? Was
I was looking.
yeah, that's distracted
This
again.
one, this one's got 14. This one's got 90. This one, it took away his votes because it got pulled, I think.
Why did he get pulled? Because he couldn't see his
Yeah.
tower. You said.
Yep. It's against the rules.
Okay.
Yep. See, unfortunately, your submission is removed. Per the sidebar, you got to have the tower. So
They're like, what magic is this thing running off here?
right. Well, if not, I mean, the guy could really fake it. He could have a picture of a desktop sitting on a fucking desk. Because a lot of the minimalist guys are like, oh, minimalism, and it's like a keyboard and a monitor, and that's it. And you're like, is that thing even plugged into anything?
Well, are
Yeah, so,
those? It's still legal for those people that have like those computer desks, right?
huh? That's what desks?
The computer desks, like the kind that Linus made.
Oh, yeah. Where the desk is the tower.
Yeah, like I wonder if anybody's like forgot to mention that it was a computer desk, uh, and then like it was you can't really tell or whatever, and then they got kicked from that.
No, I'm sure they explained it.
Or like, yeah, because I don't know, it's just hard because there's like a lot of things that are meant for, or not meant for. What am I saying? Like that are considered computers, but it's
Yeah,
you
I
get
mean,
into gray areas.
well, like if you say you game on an iMac, then people are like, sure. Did you see that meme that's like the only way to game on a Mac, and the guy's using a MacBook as a mouse pad?
Right. Or
So
like if you're using like a small like little media PC or like some kind of Cody box or something with an HDMI going to all your monitors.
right. Well, I thought about before I got this thing. When I wasn't into gaming as much, I thought about just hooking up like an Android phone or something up and using it because you can hook an Android up to HDMI and hook a mouse
Yeah.
up to it, and it'll work technically. It's like using a Raspberry Pi.
Well,
One guy I follow on YouTube, he actually uses he used a Raspberry Pi as his daily rig to see if it would work because he uses Linux, and his other rig actually was the step above ours. He had a 95 whatever the hell it is, the FX chip,
yeah.
but he was running Linux on it, so he's not doing anything ballsy.
Right. The thing though that sucks is like if you're Samsung, if you have a Samsung phone, then you're out of luck because like a lot of these phone companies are phasing out that your ability to just hook a HDMI to up to your TV with your phone because they're like, oh yeah, people could just beam this to their smart device, but that defeats the purpose of having to use that if you're trying to use your phone as the smart device itself.
Right. Well, they figure people they're in tune. Samsung wants people to buy their smart TV, dude.
Yeah.
See. Apparently, they got a new Roku TV that everyone says isn't that bad, which I still don't understand. You could buy a Roku stick for I think we bought one for $50. So I think we got one free when we signed up for Sling. Like you pay for 2 months in advance, and we got one free. So I don't even know what that. Yeah, $32. And you can buy a fucking stick. $29. It's the Express. I don't know what the Express has, but hell, $24. So, and you can hook it up to whatever TV you want. It doesn't have to fit their damn size. I don't understand. Okay, is it time for the news yet, Ian?
Yeah. We should probably get into the news before we're going too long here.
Right. The news with Ian and Frank and maybe Doug if he pops in, but probably not Ben because he hasn't come on yet.
That weed. What's with him?
Fucking weed.
I know.
One of my favorite battle station posts was on average battle stations. The title was "Fucking Weeb Dash," and it's a dash, so they show it as a quote. It was in quotes, dash, and the person saying the quote was "Mom." And they're like, "Why was this? Why isn't this on regular battle stations?" He's like, "Cause I didn't show my tower, cause I got like an i3, and he had like an i5." So I'm like, "Come on now, you don't have to have high specs to put a computer on there as long as it looks nice."
Yeah.
So is this the first story here, the cryptocurrency?
Yeah. So like I was trying to research. I was like, why are these video card prices so high, and how come you can't even buy a 500 or even a 400 series card now, which is the one that I have is a 480. And I got my answer in this article here.
Cryptocurrency craze sends GPU prices skyrocketing again. Yeah, I remember when this happened last time. I wasn't in the market, but I remember this. Back in 2013. Wow, really?
Doug's
During the
here, by
height,
the way.
huh?
Doug's here.
Hey, Doug! What did I say about and probably Doug if he joins us?
Yeah.
How you doing, Doug?
Doug.
He's flipping a finger. I can't hear words. Time out. He's or T for touching himself, one or the other. I think he's touching himself. Well, he says one more time before the show. No, you can't. You can't do that, Doug.
Well, at least we've probably already been demonetized, like,
Well, yeah.
within the first minute of our show.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Doug. Looks like Doug's having some audio difficulties,
What he said?
technical difficulties.
Did you break your headset, Doug? No. Okay.
Or did you give him your, like, that old Bluetooth headset that you were trying to have on the show back when you first started here?
I use that thing actually. It's my daily headset.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You like the freedom of it, huh?
Yeah, it's Bluetooth and it's on ear instead of earbuds. I hate earbuds.
Yeah.
So, but only thing is the padding is coming unglued. Oh. I forgot I unmuted something, so I heard something playing in the background. I was like, "Is that Doug?" No.
No.
Nah.
I don't hear anything on his end.
Are you Doug? No, you're not Doug.
But yeah, I was thinking, since these headphones are modular where you can unplug the cord from it, which I think all headphones should be that way. Like, it's a dumb design in itself to have, and not just headphones, like any device, like a mouse or anything, should be modular from the connection, because
so you can
like
replace it, yes.
so you could replace it. And like, I would think that would be easier for the designers anyway, so they don't have to have a thing plugged into it while they're trying to, like, make it or whatever,
Well, the thing is, it's built-in obsolescence. So
You're saying they do that so they want it to break. In other words, you're saying, right?
well, in this throwaway society, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they want you to use yours, because if you keep buying the same one over and over again because you like it but it broke, then especially in a society where everything's plastic.
Yeah.
If headphones are all plastic and they're easy to make and they're cheap to make, well then, they'll just, people will buy it and they go, well, the fucking thing broke, but it cost $5, so I just threw it away and got another one. Hey,
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
For some reason, my webcam mic went out, so I had to act quick.
What kind of?
So I have my Samsung. It's an older Logitech that does 720p video. So looks like it's about time for me to re-up. Maybe get something with 1080p.
I was gonna say,
go 4K, Doug. Get that 4K webcam.
Yeah,
4K actually nuts. How about that?
We're actually talking. Logitech just came out with a 4K webcam.
Yeah, do a 4K webcam on a show that could probably only do 720p.
Yeah.
At least I think that's the limit with the Hangouts. I'm not sure.
Granted, it's only got 3 stars, but you could do 4K for only $179, Doug.
Nice.
I've actually got one that everybody and their brothers got. I paid $60 for 720. It does 1080.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. That is what I got right there
Oh yeah.
on Amazon.
Hmm.
I think you can even get them in the store if you walk in. If you go into Walmart's or whatever, and you see this goofy box with this guy looking at you, that's what it is. So, Doug, how are you doing today, sir?
Not too bad.
Yeah. What was up with? I guess you didn't end up doing a podcast this week, huh?
Well, there's a certain way that I want this room to look before I go doing the podcast again, especially if I'm going to go live. So, I mean, I want to rearrange this room and make it look a certain way. So I have the concept in my head of what I want to do. I just need to get the opportunity to do it, and I didn't, unfortunately. So.
You gonna get a circle desk or something like they have in a newsroom or something?
Well,
show up in a suit.
I've got
inside.
this. Well, basically, I kind of give you the rundown of what my battle station looks like. What I have right now, I've got my stand, my TV stand right in front of me, of course, with my TV. And right here, I have an end table in front of it with my gaming stuff and my Mac and whatnot. Over here on the side, I have the media server, the music server. And behind it, I have my refrigerator with all my drinks and stuff. And I have this really big desk right beside it. I got it from my dad. And then I, of course, have the random junk in the background, which you can barely see right now, but it's just kind of piled back there. And what I want to do is I'm going to rearrange it to where I'm going to take my video game on my movie shelf. I'm going to move it because I have that over here in the corner too. I'm going to probably move it over here somewhere. I'm going to make it so I have like a full range of motion back through here and kind of eliminate some of the dead space over here. Make it a little bit more open, and then I'll be able to shoot a little bit better and actually get better shots and be able to do better YouTube videos as a result too. So,
oh,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, me and Frank were just talking about Bluetooth stuff because, like, I was trying to say that since I can unplug the cord from my headphones, I see a lot of people with these types of headphones using like a Bluetooth module or whatever plugged into them, so you could pretty much make them wireless then.
Yeah.
Hmm?
What do you think about that, Frank?
I've got one of those. I bought one on eBay for, I mean, it's just a little, like a battery-sized little box that you plug into anything. My car and my Chevy, and my username, Hot Rod 54 Chevy.
Is that what you got it for? Was your car?
Originally, yeah, but it just takes a 3.5 millimeter, jack, so you can plug it into anything. If my headphones that I have, if they weren't Bluetooth already, I could plug those in. But
yeah, well, I saw they came out with some smaller ones where it's pretty much just like a little stick that with the 3.5 millimeter, so you don't have to have like a giant box that's like with the right angle coming out of it or something, you know?
Yeah.
So because I was trying to think about like how I would have it, because some of them have like a few inch like cord coming out of it or something, you know, and I don't want to have that like dangling out of the headphones, you know.
No, you want a dangler. You definitely want a dangler.
Or you could like redneck and just put some duct tape around it, you know.
Yep. But anyway, Doug, we were just talking about the cryptocurrency bucking up the prices of GPUs again.
And availability. Like a lot of these companies like Amazon or whatever are running out of stock and you can't even find it. They're the mid-range cards are getting sold out. Like the really low end, like 1050 or the 1080 cards from NVIDIA you can get because it's on the other sides of the spectrum. But the mid-range ones is the ones that are like the sweet spot people are going after for these like the, what is it called, the Ethereum or whatever mining.
Yeah, the new thing, like not Bitcoin, but the new hotness, whatever the hell it's called.
It's just like a gold rush, you know, back then.
But didn't Ethereum just crash?
I know, I haven't heard about that.
Let me look that up. I thought I read something about Ethereum crashing this past week, or it's basically set for a crash because basically the price of Ethereum has ballooned so much so quickly that the market for Ethereum just kind of fucked itself. So I thought I read something about Ethereum crashing. So let me look it up real quick.
Well, the one of the solutions that, like, I forget if it was Asus or if it was another brand that they were trying to market their cards just specifically for the mining, you know? Like, I think they were trying to do, like, some, like, 570s or 470s or something. Because I guess AMD, like, their cards work better or something for the mining. Did you hear that, Frank?
Yes, I heard that, and that's why everybody's mad. When I was saying, like, in the argument of whether or not to hold out for Vegas or Vega, everyone's like, "Ooh, just sell your card to someone who's doing Bitcoin mining." I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Then you're not guaranteed to be able to buy another one.
Well, did you see that Vega hit? Like, they did release another type of Vega or whatever, where it's just specifically for the gaming.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's one of. Check out the newest one of Tech It Tomorrow with the Ulrich guy.
Yeah.
That's where I saw it from.
Oh. No, all I saw was the FE edition.
Yeah, it was so the specs are pretty much like identical to it, but it was like it was just geared for the gaming or whatever. And I think it was a different color. I think it was the gold instead of the blue.
So this article, basically, well, do you know the gist of what this article says? Because you said you read it.
Well, I mean, we pretty much talked about it. I mean, you could like it if you want to skim through it, you could kind of do that. That's what I did when I read it, but that's pretty much why the cards are becoming so expensive or whatever. They're going up in price almost to the top end cards, you know?
Right.
Well, I think even though they're selling so much for new, I mean, you can still get these older ones for data mining, looking for Ethereum and Bitcoin. But the thing is that like, even when I was mining, like I was one of the first people mining for Bitcoin back in the day.
Oh, you got the Bitcoin bug, huh?
At first, and then it was just like, what the hell am I doing? This is fucking stupid. It's true though. I mean,
well, it's just like the gold rush, isn't it? All these people go out and put all this effort, and then most people just end up coming empty-handed, you know.
But the thing is that when you take a look at how you're doing the Bitcoin mining and the Ethereum mining and shit, eventually it's already started to drag down the prices because the two links that I provided were flash crashes.
Mm. Well, what do you think about these companies maybe trying to do, like Ethereum or cryptocurrency specific mining cards to try to alleviate the, like the pressure on the other cards? Do you think that kind of, do you think that would work?
Yeah.
Because then if they market these specifically for that, then they'll go out and try to buy all of that, you know? I mean, sure, they'll still buy, like, the gaming stuff probably, but it would at least let some pressure off of it to try to level back out those prices to where they normally should be.
But even so, you're still going to have people doing what they want to anyway because they're not going to roll into the hype.
Don't believe the hype.
What do you think, Frey?
It's fucking bullshit, man. Right when they're about ready to launch the new GPU, these assholes come in and overinflate the prices in an already fucking saturated market.
Well, the thing, though, I don't think you would have to worry about that with Vega because Vega is pretty much still going to be a high-end card.
I hope not.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like the new Vega cards aren't supposed to be doing that well. There's already rumors coming out that They're not really that hardcore.
Well, the older guy I was mentioning, he said that it was pretty much like equivalent to like a 1080 or something, but a little bit under the 1080 Ti.
Right. As long as how they price it. If they price it low enough.
Yeah, it's all about the price. Well, here's the thing though. Like I remember when I was gonna ask you think this is stupid, Doug? Like the Vega price for like the regular is supposed to be like $9.99, but then like for an air cooled card, but then for the water cooled card they're charging 500 extra bucks, so it'd be 1,500 then. I know you don't get into the liquid cooling stuff, do you, Doug?
I don't like, but the thing is like the difference between your standard air cooled card and your water cooled card is how it's built and what type of connections they make and what style of piping they use. I mean, I can understand that jump in price, especially if you're going different tiers of water cooled cards as well. So
yeah, well, it all depends on how much extra performance you can squeeze out of it when you're doing the overclocking, because that's the only reason you would want liquid cooling in the first place is to overclock them.
Yeah, the Fury was water cooled, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
like I would buy like a liquid cooled card or something, or like as long as it's like plug and play pretty much, because I'm not trying to do like those hard tube bends and stuff like Jay does. You need to buy all these crazy fittings and just spend a fortune into just a whole system where you have to pretty much have plumbing in your computer,
Right.
But a lot of those cars, they just have a soft tube loop that just is hooked up to a radiator fan, and that you just mount on your computer, right?
Yeah, that's what the RX Fury was. What's this about Two Wings of Ireland? This other article. Is this your story here?
What is it about?
Two Wings of Ireland. Is that your story?
Well, let me see. Well, no, this one was supposed to be about them intercepting these like millions of phone calls. The government. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's the. Hold on. That's the one that I wanted. Yeah, the one that I had was government intercepted millions of conversations in single drug investigation, netted 0 convictions. So that obviously isn't the one that I sent you, was it?
Well, no.
Well, here, let me.
Wait. Government intercepts millions of conversations in single drug investigation, netted 0 convictions. There it is.
Okay, you
found like 5 stories in here.
Yeah.
Way down here. The most intrusive of your tax dollars hard at work. U.S. authorities intercepted and recorded millions of phone calls last year under a single wiretap order authorized as part of a narcotics investigation. The wiretap order authorized an unknown government agency to carry out real-time interceptions of 3.29 million cell phone conversations over a 2-month period at some point during 2016, after the order was applied for in late 2015. This detail, contained in the U.S. court's latest wiretap report, shows how much the government can get with a single wiretap order. Using assertions of training and expertise, U.S. drug warriors intercepted millions of phone calls, ringing up a $335,000 third-party phone bill in the process. But hey, the drug war can't be won without casting a wide dragnet. Drug conspiracies are vast and far-reaching, often leading law enforcement to bigger fish further down the line. Or so the affidavit assertions say, but the authorities note that the surveillance effort led to no incriminating interceptions, and none of the handful of these arrests have brought to trial or convicted. To recap, one wiretap warrant, $335 million spent, 3.3 million communications intercepted, zero conviction. Wow. The statutes governing wiretap warrants designate they should only be used when all other less intrusive investigation methods have failed. The fact that these 3.3 million communications failed to add up to a single conviction suggests that other investigative methods weren't fully explored before a judge autographed this warrant request. To be fair to the judge, the requesting agency probably wasn't forthcoming about its previous investigation or investigative ventures. But that's enough being fair to judges. Marcy Wheeler notes courts approving wiretap orders are even more of a rubber stamp than the visa court.
Pfizer.
Whatever.
Mm.
The FISC report showed that the court denied in full 8 of 1,485 individual U.S.-based applications at a rate of 0.5%, along with partially denying or modifying a significant number of others. The Article 3 report showed that out of 3,170 reports, state and federal courts denied just two requests. That's a denial rate of 0.06%. Wow. So what they're saying is they're getting by with more because the judges don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What's Doug think of all this?
Dude, shit like this happens all the time. It's not really a thing.
I mean, it is a thing. It's just no one gives a shit.
Nothing you can do about it, right?
I mean, what are we going to do if the FBI is in your phone calls because they think you might be making drug deals? They're in your house or under your bed. Holy shit.
They don't need to be under my bed to pretty much know everything about me now.
Yeah, you got a smartphone that uses Google. They already know everything about you.
Yeah. They have light bulbs with microphones in them and speakers, Bluetooth, you know.
Right. Oh, you're going to just shit yourself if one day they start putting microphones into LEDs.
Oh, wait, they already do.
Quantum breakthrough. Researchers successfully simulated a 45-qubit quantum circuit. PhD students from Swiss Federal Institute of Technology made some noise in the science community when they successfully simulated a 45-qubit quantum circuit, the largest ever simulation of a quantum computer to date. The two students, Thomas Hanner and Damien Stieg, performed the computations at the National Energy Research Scientific Communications Center. The DOE Office of Science User Facility exists on the U.S. Department of Energy Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. Jesus, this is going to be a mouthful. As it stands, researchers have been studying quantum computing for decades. It all began when Paul Binoff first applied quantum theory to computers in '81. Modern-day computers use digital computing, which requires all data to be encoded in binary digits. On the other hand, Binoff's quantum computer or quantum Turing machine is a theoretical model which requires the use of quantum bits in its computation. Unlike the regular bit, which can only be 1 or 0, a quantum bit or qubit can be in a superposition. That is a state which allows it to hold more information. A quantum bit can contain a combination of 2 or more bits, 1 or 0, by using a super dense coding. The superposition state of the qubits will allow a quantum computer to work on a million computations at once. A regular desktop computer can only work 1. As a result, modern researchers like Hanner and Stieg are pushing the limits of our generation's most advanced supercomputers to develop future quantum computers.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fast shit.
Quantum.
Yeah, not to
Yeah,
be
but
confused with the biblical measurement of qubits, right?
No. Or the video game Qbert.
Right.
My question is, can it run Crisis?
Well, that's the thing is like these, like these innovations with quantum computing is like they have specific applications as far as like they're good with like simulating molecules and all these like simulations and AI and stuff and like various like I think they were good with doing some kind of like like calculations with like big data like like the stock market and stuff like that. But like as far as applying them towards like the like calculating the graphics and stuff for video games, I don't think they would apply as to those as much,
So no, huh?
Yeah, pretty much like they have specific needs, like you just have the quantum computer part, but then you would just have to go back to the good old fashioned video card, for the graphics. it'd be like having your like an iPhone hooked up to like a turntable,
2 turntables and a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Duck say about this?
Quantum computing. Yay.
I think we bored Doug to death.
Actually, I'm actually just looking up a couple news bits myself.
Okay.
You're looking at porn. You don't got to lie to us.
Are you kidding me? I just jerked it twice since the beginning of the news.
Okay. What we got here?
What you doing, Ian? As Ben would say, just jacking it.
Just jacking it.
Cable TV companies can charge higher prices thanks to new court ruling.
Oh boy.
Is this your story or mine? Oh, it must be yours. I had the same one. Okay.
Okay, that's good. So I got down
Cord cutting, yay.
Court upholds FCC decision that said cable TV faces competition nationwide. The cable TV industry has won a big victory against rate regulation via a court decision that will make it harder for cities and towns to impose price controls on paid TV service. Today's ruling from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit upheld a June 2015 decision by the Federal Communications Commission that helped cable companies avoid local rate regulation. The FCC, under then-Chairman Tom Wheeler, ruled that cable TV providers face effective competition nationwide, mainly because of the widespread availability of satellite TV service from DirecTV and Dish. Local franchisee authorities are allowed to regulate the rates cable TV providers charge for basic cable services and equipment if the local cable company does not face effective competition. Before the June 2015 FCC vote, the burden of proof was on the cable companies to show that they faced effective competition. The Wheeler FCC decision shifted the burden of proof to local authorities by adopting a rebuttal presumption that cable operators face effective competition. This move did not outlaw local rate regulation entirely, as an individual city or town can still regulate rates if it provides to the FCC that the local cable company doesn't face effective competition. Cities and towns that did regulate basic cable TV rates were required to ask the FCC for permission to keep their price controls in place. This is entirely related to cable TV. Broadband services weren't subject to the price controls. Price controls are also effective only entry-level cable TV packages. And blah, 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 blah. Anybody's thoughts on this?
So basically they're saying that, well, yeah, that, but a little bit further, like a little bit longer of an opinion, that's supposed to be just that it sucks because, like they're pretty much just saying, oh, so there's so much competition out there, everybody's cutting the cord, it's okay for us to do this. It's okay for you to screw grandma because she doesn't know what, like that she can do all that stuff. She doesn't know how to work the Netflix and all that,
Yeah, all they're doing is giving people more reason to pirate shit.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why the people pirate shit is because of this shit. This is a very good example of that.
I mean, and it's not like people needed much of an excuse before. People were just doing it before because it was cheap and free.
Well, I mean, me and Ben have talked about that a lot. Is people do that, and the way you get people to stop that is by making your own content even easier than the content, with the piracy content, because like they make it so easy. A lot of these piracy websites make it so easy, and like they have like even better interfaces and UIs for getting their stuff. It makes it easier just for it being as organized as it is.
What are you saying there, sir?
Like, just make your stuff easier, and people won't pirate it. Then make it better than the piracy websites do.
The way I kind of see it is like this. When you take a look at what's available out there now and the type of quality content that you can get, the only thing I think that really needs to be kind of regulated in some certain ways is actually internet service. That's the worst. That's really like, I mean, the TV stations, as far as rates go, that's one thing. But as far as internet connectivity, that's where you really need to have more and more competition on, because the rates that we get versus other countries.
Yeah, we're like worst in the world for our dollar versus speed,
Yeah, one of, if not the worst. I think we're like 15th or 16th in the world on that.
And was it like China? They get like gigabit speeds for the same price,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the idea of a lot of people are cutting TV because just like the idea itself is pretty much TV is just a stream of random content. People get streams on the internet all the time. So like, why won't you go to the internet? Like they should be just doing like Netflix does and have all their programming in a better platform.
Yep. I mean, the one thing I was actually going to talk about today is a little bit of on this same kind of subject. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Frank always loves doing the, like all these broadband and internet providers, cable TV, FCC battles. Let me ask you though, Doug, are you you're a big proponent of the net neutrality, right? Because a lot of these companies like Facebook and stuff are trying to, they're trying to be with the people and fight for net neutrality. That's good.
I am totally for it.
You don't want a slow lane, Doug? What's wrong with you, man?
They're either for it or they don't understand it. There's no, if you're against it, you're a fucking liar, basically. If you like money, you want your money.
I want money.
I want your money. Right. I want content.
What are you talking about? There's no slow lane if you have a fast lane. There's no lower part of the mountain.
Well, sir, if you're paying,
you have a high part of the mountain.
Well, no. See, there's
competition. How would you like to have 75 channels of free content every day, and it's all live?
Right. Nice.
There's an app out there now called Pluto TV.
I have Pluto.
Is that not one of the greatest things ever?
It's pretty groovy.
Yeah.
So I just when I got my new Apple TV, I was just searching on there, and Pluto TV is on there. Downloaded it, and now I've watched so much of like let's call Nerd and Sundry, the past couple days, watching Tabletop with Will Wheaton, Rooster Teeth, and Rocket Jump and shit.
And you can watch like Riff Tracks and Nerdist and all that shit there too. I got onto it because I was just doing a search for anime, and it was like, oh, hey, they have an anime channel. I'm like, what? And it's free.
Yep,
What?
anime all day.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, do you like that Crunchyroll, Doug?
Ian, we're looking for free, okay?
FRE, that spells free. CreditReport.com, baby.
Well, you could get stuff on Crunchyroll for free.
Yeah, but it's not worth having.
Oh, really?
You'll get the entire. If you're trying to watch a show, you get to watch so many episodes in, and it's like, gotta pay premium now. You're like, I pay $60 a year though.
I don't watch that much anime, so like I didn't know that.
I watch most.
Yeah, you like the soap operas.
Yeah, what'll happen to the high school romance? Will the couple make it? Oh, anyway, fucking weeb. Amazon and eBay images broken by PhotoBuck's ransom demand. Oh noes.
Yep.
Oh no.
Thousands of images promoting goods sold on Amazon and other shopping sites have been removed after a photo sharing service changed its terms. eBay and Etsy have also been affected, in addition to many forums and blogs. The problem has been caused by PhotoBucket. Sorry. Okay. But the problem has been caused by PhotoBucket introducing a charge for allowing images hosted on its platform to be embedded into third-party sites. The company caught many of its members unaware with the change, prompting some to accuse it of holding them to ransom. Denver-based PhotoBucket is now seeking $399 annual fee from those who wish to continue using it for third-party hosting, and is facing a social media backlash as a consequence. The BBC received an automated response when it tried to contact the company and is still seeking comment. Policy switch. PhotoBucket has been online since 2003 and says it has more than 100 million customers and more than 15 billion images on its servers. Parts of its attraction with small retailers was the fact that its ad-supported free accounts could be used to upload images of goods to a single destination from where they could be pushed to multiple outlets. On 26th of June, however, the company published a brief note advising users to take a moment to review our updated terms and policies. About 500 words into the linked documentation was the declaration that free accounts would no longer permit linkage or image linking to third-party sites. Many users realized the change only when their embedded images were replaced by graphics saying their PhotoBucket accounts needed to be updated. Devon-based seller Vintage Store Retro 2G, which sells its goods on eBay, was one of those affected. I have quite a bit of editing to do. The store's owner, Gigan Klinkenborg, that's a fucked up name, told the BBC, I'm sorry, where is that from? What kind of thing is that? I'm going to Google it. A bit of notice would not have been unreasonable to expect. I've deleted my accounts and would not use PhotoBucket again. So yeah, people that they're held at ransom because their pictures are hostage.
Yeah, this is crazy because like over $300 just to embed your pictures. You know, like I would understand if like they had like some really fancy like odd music and video embedding options on there, but just for pictures, I mean, what the fuck?
Well, first off, I'm looking at my ancestry.com to see where the hell Klinkenberg comes from. I used it for that one guy from YouTube, Ed from TechSource. His last name, he's like Estonian or something like that, like the Kardashians or something.
Right.
Anyway, name, ancestry. Oh, he's from Wales. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah.
this isn't just shooting themselves in the foot. They're pretty much just saying, "Oh yeah, we don't want anybody coming to our site anymore."
Yeah, I mean, for years they've offered a reliable, okay service that people just used it because it was free, and now they're like, "Oh, it's not free anymore." Well, then no, we're not your customers anymore. Basically, is what they're gonna get. I mean,
yeah. I mean, like if it was like $15-$20, something like that, wouldn't be too bad. But that was just like a total shock. Hundreds of dollars for pictures.
Well, for the amount of pictures, I think would be the issue. If it's someone who's uploading hundreds and hundreds of pictures, I could see charging them more. But if you only have less than 100 or whatever,
just for the capability is like ridiculous.
Yeah. Doug, comment?
I didn't know PhotoBucket was still around.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're not.
Not for long. So is that your last story, sir?
No.
No? What's your next one?
Oh yeah, that was, for some reason I thought I had more. But yeah, that's it. You can move on to yours or Doug's. I don't.
Let's go to Doug's first.
Okay.
Are these ones you posted in the chat, Doug? Are these your stories?
The bottom two from Engadget.
Okay. Prince's music videos hit YouTube following Purple Rain reissue. Though Prince took major efforts to keep his work offline, a lot of it has been slowly making its way back to the internet since his death. The newest online edition of his increasingly accessible body of work are a handful of music videos posted today on YouTube and Vivo. An official Prince account has uploaded official music videos as well as live performances of hit songs like When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy. So he's on Tidal too, huh?
Yeah.
See, that's the horrible thing. Yeah, it's his legacy, and we want to. No, his legacy said, "I don't want my shit on the internet. I want people to pay for it." And they're just saying, "No, fuck that. Put it on the internet. We can charge people for it." What do you guys say about this, Doug?
Well, what happened?
Huh?
What happened? What's the gist of the story? I'm sorry.
Well, the gist story is Prince never allowed anything of his to be posted online. Nothing. I'm talking nothing. Nothing from his back catalog at all, except for one album he did not have creative control over. He scrubbed every single lick of his music off the internet. Anytime someone posted up on YouTube, he had like a sniper team come and get your shit. And just for your information, the only album he had no control over was the Batman album. And even then, he was trying so hard to get his stuff offline. But
so what's the issue now?
Well, it's basically since Prince passed, his team and whatnot have been uploading and putting more and more of his back catalog on YouTube.
So you're saying somebody needs to snipe the sniper team?
Well, the lights don't stay on in the mansion unless money gets made somewhere. So.
Yeah, but these people are purposefully doing that. They're purposefully putting them on the internet, though.
Well, yeah, because he's no longer paying them for their silence. So fuck it, they're gonna make some coin. It's a shame, man. It's not honoring his legacy at all.
Doesn't he have family that could control that stuff?
Yeah, but they're
actually doing it.
Yeah, they're doing the cash grab.
Oh, I thought the team was just like people he hired or whatever.
Well, yeah, at the time, but he had no actual will because he didn't expect to die so soon. So he has a lawyer team that is just set up to filter through the people that say, I'm Prince's child. Because if you're the child, you get more of the estate. Right now, it goes to like, what, his sister and his half brother or some shit.
Yeah, because he wasn't married when he passed.
Well, it doesn't matter if he was married. He was out there banging everything that walked. Of course, he's going to have children that he doesn't know about. He probably has children out there. He just does. We don't know of them yet. But none of them have passed. a lot of people have went in and said that they're prints of some, but nobody has actually been proven. His second story here, prototype 3D chip from MIT could eliminate memory bottlenecks. It swaps out silicon for carbon nanotubes to combine the processor and RAM. Future CPUs will have to deal with growing amounts of data, but all too often they are slowed down by bandwidth issues between the processor and RAM. A prototype chip built by researchers at Stanford and MIT can solve the problem by sandwiching the memory, processor, and even sensors all into one unit. While current chips are made of silicon, the prototype processor is made of graphene carbon nanotubes, which with resistive RAM layered over it. The team claims this makes for the most complex nanoelectronic system ever made with emerging nanotechnologies, creating a 3D computer architecture. Using carbon makes the whole thing possible, since higher temperatures required to make silicon CPU would damage the sensitive RRAM cells. This technology could do more than just speed up the frame rate of your next Xbox 2, as the current prototype used a top layer of 1 million carbon nanotube sensors to detect gases, with the information processed and measured directly on the chip. So far, the development has been funded by organizations including DARPA and the NSF. The next step in the process is to work with analog devices on new versions of the technology. Unfortunately, like so many graphene-related breakthroughs, we have no idea when this one will become commercially available.
And I thought Doug was bored with the quantum computer article. And he comes out with this.
Shazam.
Well, what interests you about this article, though?
Well, when you talk about like a lot of these, the chips that were reaching certain limits, hardware is reaching certain limits. When you take a look at how the chips have been the past 10 years, I don't think it's necessarily a coincidence that we're starting to see smaller and smaller incremental upgrades, chip over chip over chip, and especially generation to generation.
That Moore's law is going to be stopping really quick, isn't it?
It's just the fact that right now, when you take a look at, like, say, chips from 10 years ago, what were we at? What, about 2 gigahertz processors?
Right.
And most units were using at maximum 8 to 16 gigs of RAM, right?
Yeah.
Now, even on server quality boards, you're what, maybe pushing 5 gigahertz?
Yeah, computers have definitely gone sideways with the number of cores versus the frequency.
Yeah, it's just you take a look at how the technology is growing. It's growing in a certain direction, and you have to move with that direction. And it's going to get to the point now where you have AMD and Intel. It's good that there's basically only 2 companies doing processors at the moment when it comes to CPUs, just based off the fact of there wouldn't be anybody else able, even if they got into the game 10 years ago, to really compete with both these companies unless they were doing something like this. So,
well, like Frank, what is the new Vega supposed to be, like a 14 nanometer process or something? That you would think that they would still have a lot of room to grow, but 14 nanometers is like really, really small, actually. Like an atom is only like half of a nanometer, so that's only like, you can only go like 30 times more smaller before it's just an atom. Then you can't really, it's hard to do much when you're down to the atom level. You can't go even smaller than that with, like that's the base resolution of life. But Doug, what are your opinions about like that graphene and all that stuff, like the carbon nanotubes and shit that's supposed to help? electronics and making like harder, stronger materials.
It's going to piss off a lot of hardware manufacturers. Oh,
Well,
you broke that one? Oh, guess what? Now you got to buy a brand new one. Imagine having a phone that you literally could not fucking destroy if you wanted to.
Right.
You know, imagine instead of having to deal with a phone that maybe has a shelf life of 3 to 5 years tops. You know, imagine having an option to where it's not just like, because I mean, eventually these types of processors, if they hit mainstream computer hardware and gaming hardware, it's going to go into phones eventually.
Well,
But
that a lot of companies are going to like that because like that's what me and Frank, when you first came on, we were talking about. I was like, why don't more headphone makers do this where you can detach the cord instead of having it attached? Because then you could replace the cord if it breaks. But Frank was like, well, the companies actually want that to happen. They want it to break, so you have to. It's planned obsolescence, so you have to pay more then.
Well, I think planned obsolescence has a limit in certain aspects. The only thing I really foresee as far as planned obsolescence go in a lot of processors in the future is the fact that once we start really hitting this, like I think by the time we hit around 6 gigahertz processors, we're really going to start seeing people like, what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing multiple times, expecting a different result.
Exactly. We have a lot of people, and with the customer with the customer culture right now, it's I want the best, I want it now, and you're not going to dissuade me from that. And the thing is planned obsolescence is really fucking with consumers because they are now expecting, a large scale like revolution of devices because of the incremental updates over the past 3 to 5 years. Now they're starting to want something that's going to last them a minimum of 3 to 5 years instead of the 1 to 2 years that so many people are so used to.
Well, that's what we talked about.
Phones are disposable, pretty much. That's what the companies try to make them as, right?
Well, we talked about this in why people aren't buying computers, because if you build one, you're not buying a pre-build. You can make it to where it'll last you a little longer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they think they know what people want, and they figure it's easier to just make something new and make people throw away their old one than it is to make something that'll last. And
well, they think they know what will make them the most money.
Yes. Of course, it will make you more money if you keep buying it every fucking year.
Right.
I think we're starting to see some market fatigue with a lot of these devices too. You're seeing from both Samsung and Apple a lot more of this kind of like base level premium is kind of what I'd call it, where this item is specifically targeted to this group. The mid-size is specifically targeted to this group, and then the premium one is specifically targeted to this group. It's no longer a one-size-fits-all option. Now you have Samsung. Now they have 2 big releases throughout the year: the S model and the Note model. It's right now at that juncture where people are finally starting to see that their device needs are individual instead of, oh, you have this phone. That's all you get. Same thing with the iPads. Everyone has been talking the end of the iPad for the past 3 years, and Apple is still blowing everybody out of the water on that. Why? Because they keep coming out with these new different versions of the iPad, and now it's even different versions of the iPad Pro.
Right. But like Apple, I never really question if they have good products. I know they make good products, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be around anymore. My thing is though is that I can, like make a custom built computer that has the same kind of, like the RAM and the processor and stuff that I could get the same things that they get from the factory and make it even better.
Okay, so here's my question.
A lot cheaper.
Okay, so let me look something up real quick, and while I'm looking this up, I'm going to ask you a question. What is the oldest computer in your house?
Well, the oldest one that I have is an XP machine that I got for free. That's like not even like a 2 gigahertz.
Okay, so is it currently operational?
Yes.
Is it operational like day one?
Well, I don't know. I got it from somebody, so I'm not sure how fast it was. But it seems pretty slow to me compared to like what a XP would be, I would think.
Everyone talks down on Apple because, yeah, you can build the same model unit as you get spending X amount of dollars on.
Yeah, it's like you can get the same processor, same RAM. Like you could piece it down into the same physical hardware, but Apple, they slap the Apple logo on it, and then they could just charge a lot more for it. I mean, if you have the same computer built molecule by molecule of a computer, I mean, it's like what am I paying for here? Just the operating system, then?
Let me explain to you what you're paying for. Right here beside my webcam is my Power Mac, which is now my music server for the house. This little sumbitch I paid $80 for 4 years ago. Now, when this particular unit was introduced, the base model started at $1,999 in 2003. Okay?
Okay.
It goes from a 1.6 to 2.7 gigahertz PowerPC processor, single processor and dual processors, single core, dual core, and of course dual processors, dual core, blah, blah, blah. Now, this unit right here that I have, first off, can you download Windows XP updates from Windows currently?
Well, actually, I did download one the other day for that ransomware thing that they made an exception for. but no, you can't.
That,
like generally, you can't do that.
I downloaded updates for my machine direct from Apple 4 days ago, up to and including a operating system update for this guy. So now I think I'm at, like, it's either Leopard or Snow Leopard or something like that. Straight to this one from Apple directly off their website. Completely free. And also I have a couple Java updates. I have, what was the other one that I still have coming? There's like 3 or 4 other ones, iLife updates, which come free with this as well. So number one, when you buy an Apple product, you're not just paying for a name. You're saying
support, right?
You're paying for support because Lord knows that up until the point of Windows 10 was introduced, you had to fucking pay $99 to $200 for an operating system update if you wanted one, which, by the way, Apple doesn't make you do. Number two, you're paying for a system. This sumbitch boots like day one right now. Yeah, when it was sold to me, huh?
Yeah, but Doug, that service that you get, you can take your hardware service, you get software service fine, but the hardware service is the problem. If you have a mechanical problem with it, your AppleCare is only good for a year. After that, it's out of pocket.
Here's my thing, though. From all my iPhones, I've gotten 3 or 4 replacements on my iPhone since I started buying them. Ask me how many I've paid out of pocket for.
How many, Doug?
0. And that's even for shit I did to my phone. And that's even for shit that was not even stuff that they were really going to or supposed to cover. They just did.
Well, I had my
Why?
last iPhone. The speaker went out on it twice within a
Mm-hmm.
month, and the second time after it got replaced, I said my next phone will be Android, so it is.
Yeah. But the most that's ever happened to my phones is my. Uh, I've had a couple of speakers go out, and I've had a couple of charging ports go, and I've never had to pay for a replacement.
Well, mine right after that 1 year ended, I said, I should be all right. The speaker went out, and I had the 3GS when everyone was rocking the five. No, was it the 3GS? I think I might have went with the five right after that, but then I think I gave up. I can't remember why. Oh, that's right. When I went, I bought the phone at Best Buy thinking I could take it to their Geek Squad. And they're like, nope, you got to take it to Apple, even though you bought it here.
The thing
See,
I'd like
I
to point
don't.
out too is that the fact that Apple they seem, when they started doing like the Intel processors and stuff, and now they're doing, like Vega AMDs, it's like once they moved away from their proprietary, because it used to be all like anything inside your Apple computer, it was like all Apple all the way, right? Am I correct on that, Doug? Or anybody wants
That,
to correct
that
me?
that depends on what you get, because a lot of the components are still third party components that they just build in.
Well,
So
I'm just talking about like back in the day. Now it's like most of it is third party. That's what I'm saying. Is like the argument of like like being able to charge more just for their specific hardware is a lot less now because it is all AMD and Intel and stuff. When you can buy those same things just and build it yourself, you know. I
well,
mean,
you still have your. I mean, the main units that you're paying the most on is the same stuff you've been paying for always. Been processors, hard drive space, RAM. RAM is really what they're fucking killing you on right now. That's the biggie.
That's where they've always got you. Everybody who's my iMac, I bought my own RAM sticks and upgraded myself because what they charge you is a rate fee. I'm sorry. So,
I could
well,
probably update the RAM in my Mac if I wanted to. I just haven't wanted to yet. But
well,
it's
I
still.
think
Oh, go ahead.
Apple is definitely I think Apple is definitely a better software company than they are a hardware company. Because, well, frankly, like I said, they're not really doing anything yet, like besides like their tablets and stuff. That as far as desktops go, it's less and less specifically Apple stuff.
But you're still getting these components to work for a long period of time. I don't know very many people who are selling these newer Macs. It's like, oh well, hard drive went out and I can't do anything with it, so I'm selling it now. Or it needs RAM and blah blah blah. You know, when you're still buying an Apple product, you're still buying an Apple product, even if it is a third party RAM piece or a third party processor. You're still buying items that are assembled by uh, people who work for Apple, and it's still an Apple product through and through. I mean, you take a
So
look. I mean, go ahead.
so like if I worked for Apple and with my magical touch or whatever of Apple that from the Apple gods, like if I just inserted like a RAM stick into the computer, that means that it's gonna the same RAM stick that I could buy on Newegg for a regular PC that it's gonna last longer than.
If you have people working in these Apple plants for assembly, Apple has a extremely high, and I'm talking almost impossibly high, quality ratio that they go by. Everything that
Well,
Apple does, it's done a specific way. It's done in a specific order, and things are done this way for one reason and one reason only, to achieve the higher quality level that everyone expects. Because when you're at the top, and let's face it, Apple's at the top when it comes to quality in both the mobile and the home PC space. You have to keep up your quality.
well, like Frank, do you think they Apple like I doubt Apple like modifies like the third party, like I don't think they're really modifying or like changing the hardware at all, like with the Vega or whatever that they're gonna have in their new Mac Pros.
um, Yeah, I don't really know. It's
Like, I don't even know if they would be even trying to overclock them, you know?
probably not. No,
I
they're
don't think they're
probably
going to.
they don't they don't build anything for power users. They figure if you're a power user and you need something with a beefy graphics card or whatever, that you'll just be uh, doing it yourself.
It's just, I see Apple as more of like trying to be a middleman, trying to get their chunk of the change, right?
That's what most people think until they get an Apple product and it lasts forever. You know, your infrastructure that you have inside your computer has a lot to do with that. Their software, even though people are starting to program more and more malware and spyware and stuff for Macs. I mean, anytime I've ever had any type of software issue, it gets resolved within 24 hours. I can tell you, God knows how many times that I don't even fucking bother with Microsoft or any third party that works with shit with Microsoft, simply due to the fact that if I try to do something with it, I got to take it to somebody at the Geek Squad, and I got friends who work at the Geek Squad out there, so this ain't a slight to you. But if I got to go to the Geek Squad and have and fucking paying them $150 just to pull some fucking malware files off my computer, we got a problem. That's more to do with the system than the individual person, to be honest. But it's just that fact of anytime I have a software issue, I can fix it. Even on my own, I can fix it.
And if you have a hardware issue, you gotta take it to Apple. That's why I still have the box for my iMac, because I had to take it to the Apple store so many times. I brought it in and they didn't know what was the matter with it, but it was locking up and rebooting. Luckily, it was still under warranty with AppleCare. They swapped everything out, and they should be. I would have had to spend $600 if it hadn't been under the AppleCare warranty. So,
I mean, I will say that they are better than like the e-machines and like the, you know, like
still got an e-machine in my closet.
Those like the ones that you buy just for like a couple $100, those definitely are disposable. And the thing that really sucks about those are that they're pretty proprietary, and you know, like you can only put like 2 sticks of RAM in there. You can't really change out like a whole lot, you know, and you can't. There's like no upgradability with those, and they come with tons of bloatware.
Well, I think the biggest problem as far as like I wouldn't consider even things like e-machines and Dells and HPs, I wouldn't consider them disposable. I mean, you can still make modifications and whatnot. It's just not going to be the easiest thing in the world. Like I would rather, if someone is just dead set on not getting an Apple product, I'd rather send them to someplace like iBuyPower or CyberPower, I think it's called. And there's a couple websites that will build it for you and then send it to you if you don't want to build it yourself. There's one that Linus Tech Tips was talking about the other day. I mean, they're upscale, but it's still something that is thrown together, tested, and that way you know it works. And I think that's part of the reason why I went to Apple, is because I was tired of shit just not working. And that's part of the reason why I started tinkering with shit on the side, building a couple individual pieces on my own. It's just like I was so tired of having to fuck with shit and having to take it to somebody, and that just does. I mean, who wants to take 3 hours out of their day to take your brand new PC you've only had for 3 months, but it's running as slow as fucking Glacier, to a fucking Geek Squad, and then have to spend X amount of dollars for them to just say, "Oh yeah, it was this." What the hell,
Well, the thing is that I think a lot of people should be, in general, like I was saying this before, better with their computers. Like my dad's like, he still doesn't like know sometimes, like if he downloads a file, like how to get to the file, and like if it's not just on a desktop, like if he can't see it, he doesn't know where it is on the system. It's like, well, it's your main computer that you spend a lot of money for. You're technically the administrator of your computer. You should be, you should take the time to know how to do all this stuff. And, I mean, I understand he has a family and he's busy and stuff, but, like people should just be generally educated better. I know that sounds pompous, but
it's the double-edged sword of the GUI. Back in the day, if you had a computer, you didn't even have a mouse. You had a keyboard, and you had to know how to handle the operating system. So they put a graphical user interface in it to make it easier for the average person to use. And then the average person got dependent on the damn thing, and they still get mad and frustrated and don't know how to use it.
I think too, some people just don't understand like the type of threats that are out there to your computer system. Everyone's like, "Well, I just download music." Well, do you know where that music's coming from? And let's be honest. Everyone put up their hands. People who downloaded stuff over their lifetime over the internet. Put up your hand, Ian.
I put up both hands. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I put on my legs. Yeah.
But the thing is that yeah, so many people download. Like I would say, at least half the population has downloaded if they had access to do so. Partially, like the reason why I used to do it, the excuse I used to give was that, well, if they made better content, I'd pay for it. Or I want to test it out first, and that's a lame ass excuse. All excuses for downloading are lame ass. But
now I will say the only thing I would give credibility to that argument is with like software, maybe like if you're trying to learn how to use the really expensive software.
I can understand that, but with software, you're still coming from a trusted source. I mean, but these days for me, like say if I want to download something new, or I'm looking for a particular program, I go to download.com because I know all those links are tested spyware free. But I mean, don't we remember the days of LimeWire and giving your computer PC herpes? I mean,
huzzah!
Yeah.
I mean, have we already fallen so far away from that people don't think about that anymore? I mean, now everything's gone to peer-to-peer as far as like torrents and stuff like that. But I mean, have we fallen so far away from that we just, whatever. Seriously.
I just think like a lot of these manufacturers of hardware pretty much are able that they can pretty much set the prices that they want nowadays. Like we had that whole discussion about the Pro versus gaming cards, where you just make a couple drivers tweaks, then you could say it's a Pro card, and then you could charge a lot more for it. It's like when it comes to physical hardware, it's like, I mean,
well, shit. How many times has people bought a fucking CPU and paid an extra $150-$200 just because it comes pre-overclocked?
Right. Well, like they do that with cards and video cards and stuff too.
Yeah, it's just that type of situation of people who buy Apple pay for a specific convenience. The convenience of a product that will last, and the convenience of a product that has a software stability that really is only matched by Linux and Ubuntu. And unfortunately, no one's really building units with Ubuntu and Linux. I think that's an untapped market myself.
Well, I was going to say, like, you can't just compare Windows. Like, just a regular desktop computer is just a component of, like it's just a box of hardware pretty much that you can put any kind of operating system on it you want. You can put the what's that called where you can put the Mac, like a Mac operating system on a PC? Is that Hackintosh? Yeah. I mean, if I put a Hackintosh on that, especially, like, I mean, shit. you have you got a cheaper Mac Pro then,
Well, anyway.
Yeah, but you're not being given that. I mean, your version of Mac that you put on, your version of OS could still be a cracked version, and you're still vulnerable. You're even more vulnerable than most Windows users because of how it's cracked. That's the one thing that most people don't get. You are, and not to mention that you're also illegally using the operating system. They haven't gone after anybody individually, but there's been a couple companies Apple has gone after and closed down for misappropriating the OS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw this article linked on Doug's site from Engadget, and I forgot about this. So the singer of Dion that did that song, "The Wanderer," back in the '60s, and on the Wanderer. So he's suing ZeniMax because of the use of his song in the trailer for Fallout 4. And yes, he did sign off that they could use his song, but I read this article Friday, I think. He did sign off that they could use his song, but it was also with the explicit rule that he has to see their use and approve it before they can actually go forward with it. Well, they didn't answer him, didn't send him any reply, and he saw it for the first time when it was in the trailer and was not too happy because they're basically running around and killing giant mutants for sport with his music in the background. So he figures it was inappropriate. Now, my reason for my interest in this is, other than the fact that I'm a big Fallout fan, is that his timing. This trailer launched when the game launched. This game did not just come out last week. And Bethesda has said it is their biggest, their highest grossing game to date. So, they're, let's see, they're getting more money. I didn't really care for the way they used my music in the trip. I'll sue them for more money. So, I like money. I want your money. That's where I think that's going. Because you can use his song is in the radio app on your Pip-Boy when you're running around in the wasteland. Because the character they call this generation of the Fallout character is the Wanderer, because he's alone and he's wandering around. All his family's dead. Everyone he's ever known is dead, pretty much. So he's wandering around this wasteland. And each iteration has had a different name for their character. This one's the Sole Survivor. I don't know, but it fits. I enjoy the song, but the song, the song itself originally is about going out and screwing a bunch of different girls in your car, because you can go around and you got a car and you can go meet them. So what's he talking about? Low morality and I don't get it. It's not as positive as he wanted it to be. It's a dystopian game. It's not going to be positive. So I thought that was kind of stupid.
What do you think, Doug?
Money, money, money.
Yeah.
Money, 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 money.
On ZeniMax to both take the ads down and pay $1 million in damages. So, yeah, I think he's just doing a cash grab here.
Why make millions when we can make thousands?
Also, check this out. SoundCloud lays off nearly half its staff, closes 2 offices. Co-founder Alex Lund, we're on our path to profitability. SoundCloud has laid off 40% of its staff. Bloomberg reports the streaming platform announced it is cutting 173 of its 420 employees. 420. In addition to closing its offices in San Francisco,
420
and
friendly.
London. Goddamn ads! I can't pause it. In London, SoundCloud's headquarters in Berlin and office in New York will remain. Co-founder Alex Jung said the decision was made in order to ensure our path to long-term independent success, and also said redirecting our cost and continuing our revenue growth. We're on our path to profitability and in control of SoundCloud's independent future. Last December, the advanced talks between Spotify and SoundCloud regarding an acquisition fell apart. In March, the company raised an additional $70 million in debt funding to strategically grow our technology and personnel resources to fuel our expected 2.5 times year-over-year growth in 2017. So, you guys have any thoughts on that?
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
when I read this article on Reddit, the comment was, "I didn't know they had 420 people. What do they need that many for?" I enjoy SoundCloud. I actually use it a lot at work because, like I said, I can listen to music at work, and it's really for the most part ad free. There are ads, yes, but for the most part, you don't hear anything. So I enjoy it. You have to find artists that are worth their shit though, because anybody could make something and upload it.
I wonder what their stock did after that.
Oh. Google's popular chat and conferencing system, Hangouts, went down across the globe.
Wait, it got cut off.
Huh?
Hey, we got cut off.
No. People across the globe were briefly left no choice but to actually speak to the coworkers in real life after Google's popular chat and conference system died. People across the globe were briefly left no choice but actually speak to the coworkers in real life after Google's popular chat and conference system died. Reports of widespread Google Hangouts outages began to flood social media just before 9 a.m. AEST, I guess, with messages sent via the platform failing to send. The issue wasn't just confined to Australia. Oh, Australia and Eastern. Okay. The website Down Detector reported that multiple countries were impacted. Yeah, so what would we do, Doug and Ian, if all of a sudden the Hangouts took a shit on us?
I guess they should rename it the Hang-Ups.
Doug? Are you there?
What?
Oh shit, did the Hangouts crash?
See,
yeah, they should.
it happens. Come on, it happens.
Did Hangouts fire half of their staff too? Hey, Google.
Google.
I mean,
Microsoft boasted
So
it had
what?
rebuilt Skype from the ground up. Instead, it should have buried it. Users slam attempt to infuse app with social media magic. Microsoft last month declared that it had rebuilt its Skype app from the ground up. Those who use the app have been busy tearing it down. Reviews of the Android and iOS versions of the app have been mostly terrible, and those posts to the Windows App Store have not been much better. Chief among the issues is that the redesign imagines Skype as a youth-oriented social media app along the lines of Instagram or Snapchat rather than a business communications tool. This new app is absolutely terrible. Observers of individual posting on Google Play under the username Cooler Kelder. Skype is mostly used by people for professional use or for connecting with friends far away. This looks as far from simple and professional as it can be. Skype does not need to be Snapchat. And when I read this article, all the people are like, yeah, you can't make video full screen, video call outside Skype no longer works. A lot of people aren't happy. I'm surprised Skype has hung on as long as it has, because it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
That's why we're not on it now.
Yeah, well, the reason me and Ben, like, when we started doing live before you came on, Frank, was because Ben wanted to start doing live broadcasts with it then, because before we would just use Skype as a communication thing and we would just record our voices. We were actually recording our voices separately and then putting together in like Audition,
wow.
Yeah.
Chrome's default ad blocker is bad news for torrent sites. Torrent sites are having trouble maintaining a steady flow of revenue with the increasing use of ad blockers affecting sites right across the board. And with Google's plan to add a default ad blocker to the Chrome browser looming, some operators fear that they might not be able to see their sites afloat. Online advertising can be quite a nuisance. Flashy and noisy banners or intrusive pop-ups are a thorn in the side of many internet users. These types of ads are particularly popular on pirate sites, so it's no surprise that their users are more likely to have an ad blocker installed. The increasing popularity of these ad blocking tools hasn't done the income of site owners any good, and the trouble on this front is about to increase. A few weeks ago, Google announced that its Chrome browser will start blocking annoying ads in the near future by default. This applies to all ads that don't fall within the better ad standards, including pop-ups and sticky ads. Since Chrome is the leading browser on many pirate sites, this is expected to have a serious effect on torrent sites and other pirate platforms. Torrent Freak spoke to the operator of one of the largest torrent sites who's sounding the alarm bell. And yeah, big thing here with number 2.
Yeah,
Thoughts on that?
well, I stopped using AdBlock after that whole ad apocalypse thing, and I was like, I really felt bad for a lot of the, like the content creators on YouTube, because it's like they're still creating top quality content, but they don't get paid for it. That's ridiculous.
Right.
And then on top of that, they have people still using the ad block. I mean, that's pretty wrong,
Yeah. I just wish ads. I wouldn't mind ads if they wouldn't like autoplay with sound. Like the Facebook app loads all videos with sound by default now on my phone. You have to go in and tell it. You have to tell it. And it just changed it. Before I had it set to not do it, and when it updated, it did it again. So I had to Google it. Yeah, you had to go in and tell it not to have sound when you're watching videos, or else you will. So
yeah, and it'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah, as soon as you go into your feed, and you're like, shit, and everyone in the room's like, what are you doing?
And you spill all your popcorn. Or your drink all over your lap, and it looks like you just pissed your pants, and everybody's like laughing at you.
Silicon Valley has a new vision for the pizzeria. It involves lots of robots.
Oh yeah, did you see that they had a thing where robots can like make a better hamburger or whatever than like those places that make really good, like not like McDonald's, but make like better quality hamburgers.
Well, not long after the pizzeria opened for business last year, its kitchen staff noticed a problem with some of its pizzas. They had holes in them. It wasn't the fault of the workers who rolled out intact dough bases. There wasn't a kitchen mold prodding holes. It wasn't even the recipe. The Zoom pizza base can handle its fair share of toppings. It was the robots. Josh Goldberg, 38, is the chief technology officer in the Mountain View, California pizza joint. Although most pizzerias don't have an engineering staff, let alone a CTO, Zoom prides itself on its use of automation to make operations more efficient. It estimates its kitchen can make 10 times more pizzas than the pizzeria with comparable staff. It has a robot that squirts tomato sauce onto its pies. It has a robot that spreads the sauce, mimicking the movements of Zoom's head chef. There's a robot arm similar to those found in auto manufacturing facilities that puts the pie in the oven. And as of this month, there's a robot that presses the dough into a perfect circle. So, yeah, gonna take away our fucking retail jobs, God damn it, and give them to robots.
Well, the food jobs, like, I feel bad for people though that work food jobs, that are like fast food jobs.
Well, fast food, I don't tip, but yeah, these guys.
Wait, you don't tip?
Not fast food. You don't tip McDonald's.
About to say.
Well, Ian said fast food. I said I don't tip fast food. I will tip.
Yeah.
I'll tip for my food at a restaurant as long as they're actually serving me. If I show up and pick it up to go, you ain't getting shit.
Yeah, like if you have to sit down and somebody brings you out your food.
Yeah, if I go,
that's a restaurant.
If I go to get it to carry out, they say sign here. I write in the amount. I'm like, you're not squeezing out a fucking tip out of my money, buddy.
Yeah.
All you're doing is giving me the food, Jack.
I mean, if you can ask for and they'll give you whatever you want there, and they're nice to you and stuff. I mean, that's pretty much a waitress,
Or a waiter. There are men that do it.
Or waiter, yeah. Yeah, as long as they have a good personality, I mean, that's That's what I
thinking.
tip for.
I saw his head shaking.
But yeah, fast food, like a lot of the things that like are just repetitive things with fast food because they have like limited amount of menu items, so like you don't really do anything creative with those. So
Yeah, I don't know if I'd eat pizza at a place with a bunch of robots.
oh, why not, man? I mean, it's got to be cleaner than like a person could be probably.
I don't know. And then
I mean, you think about it. If we have the summers that we do now in here in Ohio, where you're just sweating your balls off working at the computer. Imagine somebody that's like next to an oven, trying to shuffle and getting your food on time. They got to be sweating on your food, man.
yeah, that's true. I wouldn't want to. Well, the article shows a Pakistan place. Where they got robots that bring the food to you. They got robots. I say it like that because it's funny.
Robots.
The CERN data center passes the 200 petabyte milestone. I think I might have had an article on this before, but that's a milestone.
Did they perform a ritual after it?
Oh, that's right. I was like, I remember something about CERN. It was the ritual, wasn't it? No.
That's concerning, isn't it?
Concern, huh? June 29th, the CERN DC passed the milestone of 200 petabytes of data permanently archived in its tape libraries. Where did these... This is a horrible one. Where do these data come from? Articles... The Hadron Collider... Yeah. This is a... Yeah. I just felt like sharing this article.
What did you get for us, Frank, here?
Huh?
What is this here?
I don't know. It's no quantum computing, I'll admit that. It's from phys.org. Phys.
By the way, Doug, are we on your speakers there now?
Huh?
Are we on your speakers?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Come on, man.
Jesus Christ.
You hear ourselves echoing it now on there.
This is not good. This you can hear yourself. This is not good.
Here's another tinfoil hat one. Press Association.
Excuse me.
Are you okay?
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Wrong pipe, man. Wrong pipe.
Press Association gets 622,000 pounds from Google for robot journalists. Search engine Google has given a grant to the Press Association to create a team of robots to enhance its news coverage, even at the risk of good content and formatting. I like how they put a giant space in there, right at formatting. The robotic news gardeners will be able to draw onto APIs and other data sets to allow invalid string OMPL feed not. Yeah. So basically, yeah.
No one gives a fuck.
Wait, what was it? I wasn't even paying attention.
Okay. Don't worry. You'll read it when I email it to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Next article. Hack brief. Hackers targeted a U.S. Nuclear plant. Don't panic yet. Don't panic yet.
Oh, did you see that video about how close are you to active nuclear weapon?
No.
Because there's like, I think the closest one is like Missouri or something to us.
As the world watched highly skilled hackers take down power grids in Ukraine twice in 2 years, cybersecurity analysts reached the growing consensus that Russian hackers may be using the country as a testing ground for attacks they'll someday try on the United States. On Thursday, when news emerged that hackers have indeed been targeting American electric utilities, including a Kansas nuclear factory, it seemed possible that day had arrived. But it's worth noting there's a big difference between infecting a few emergency companies' Windows machines with malware and grabbing the controls of a nuclear plant. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security have been scrambling to help multiple U.S. energy firms and manufacturing plants fight off intrusions from hackers, according to reports Thursday evening from the New York Times and Bloomberg. Most worryingly, the targets of these attacks have included the Wolf Creek nuclear power plant near Burlington, Kansas, raising fears of an attack that could not only cause widespread electric outages, but potentially disable nuclear safety systems. But as disturbing as the words hack and nuclear appear in the same sentence may be, it's important to step back. The severity of any industrial control system attack depends on whether hackers manage to breach not only its traditional computer systems, but also the far more obscure, less internet-connected systems that actually manipulate its physical equipment. So far, it's not clear how many of the hackers' targets have been breached at all, not to mention any evidence that the attackers managed to access the target's actual control system networks. Yeah, so
Yes. Why do they need to have like, important infrastructure things like that and like electricity and shit? Like, I mean, you don't really need that on the internet. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to control the temperature of the nuclear power, like the cooling capacity of it through my iPad or something,
Well, Ian, you gotta ask Siri to turn on all of the pumps, and you gotta ask Cortana to make sure that the isotopes are okay. Doug, you there?
Yep. For some reason it kind of cut out there for a second, but it's just about hackers doing stupid things, so whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you should need like two people with like two separate keys, like turning them at once to be able to operate that stuff,
Okay, this is my final story for the evening. Trump wants to use AT&T merger as leverage over CNN. While most insiders still believe that AT&T's $89 billion acquisition of Time Warner will be approved with few conditions, the Trump White House will still apparently believes it can use the threat of blocking the deal as leverage to force favorable coverage with Time Warner owns CNN. CNBC reported this week that insiders predict the deal to close in the next 60 days, regardless of worries from consumer advocates about the anti-competitive impact of the deal. The New York Times subsequently reported this week that White House advisors have discussed the merger as being used as a potential point of leverage over their adversary, CNN. The data caller also reported this week that the administration may try to require CNN boss Jeff Zucker to be fired as a condition of the deal. That said, this may be sound and fury signifying nothing. AT&T and Time Warner already managed to eliminate the need for FCC review by selling an Atlanta TV station and avoiding any spectrum license transfers, which would have triggered FCC involvement. That means the deal only needs approved by the DOJ, where Trump appointed a new antitrust boss that has publicly stated he doesn't see any problem with the mega merger. Trump repeatedly promised to block the merger on the campaign trail. An example of the power structure I'm fighting, AT&T is buying Time Warner and thus CNN, a deal we will not approve in my administration because it's too much concentration of power in the hands of too few, Trump said last fall. But most analysts doubt that the administration actually blocks the merger, even if Trump thinks CNN is mean, in part because it would run in stark contrast to the ultra-cozy treatment large telecom companies like AT&T have received so far under the Trump administration, but also because AT&T is precisely the type of company to do whatever is necessary to get the deal approved, even if that means trampling editorial independence at CNN in order to scale back critical coverage of the president.
So basically,
I'm gonna have a better merger. The merger is going to be the best merger in the history of mergers. I mean, it's really going to be fantastic.
Oh no, he said they were going to do it because CNN's mean. Bunch of meanies. No thoughts, Ian?
I was trying to think, Doug. Didn't you have another article about? Because I thought we were talking about this FCC and like cable and stuff. I thought didn't you have an article on that also? Like something different you were saying before. What was the first article that you posted about? Don't you have that in the chat? Good.
First article about the Ethereum crash.
Yeah, and then the second one was the processor thing. Like, yeah, I thought you had something else that you were talking about, Doug, about with the FCC or cable companies and shit. Didn't you? Didn't he say that, Frank? He was gonna have one.
No, I was talking about Pluto TV as an alternative to your standard cable provider.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh.
But yeah, that's
essentially to a lot of these different providers, because not only are they talking about cable companies upping their rates. PlayStation View just updated their up their rates because they dropped a couple of the lower tier plans. Having an option like Pluto TV is fantastic for people who just want to be able to find something to watch without paying $60 a month. And that's why I was talking about how actual changes in the system really need to be made on the internet, and as far as getting better internet for communities and also not fucking destroying us with the asinine rates. If Spectrum props, they actually just lowered our bill when they made switch over from Time Warner to Spectrum. You have to call in yourself to do it, but you'll get a faster speed for less money.
Yeah, that's what I did. I paid before I updated my account with them. I was paying what was it, like over $100 just for 30 megs, and then they're like, I called them. I was like, why am I paying so much? And they're like, oh yeah, you got to be updated with you should be updated with our new plan. It's $70 for 60 megs. I was like, nobody like told me about this. I bet you they're like, good. We hope he keeps paying more for less. They're probably mad I called in.
Shit, he figured it out.
Yeah, but no, it's like, does Trump does he just like not want like people to get good value for their money or something?
He likes money. He wants your money.
You probably got a hand in some of this shit.
Yeah, probably, man.
He'll tell people whatever they want to hear, and people will believe it. He's taking our country back.
Back to hell?
That's right. So is it great? Is it great again yet?
What?
I said, is it great again yet? I'm gonna make America great again. Is it great again yet?
It's greatly expensive.
Okay, well that's my last story. So.
Oh yeah, by the way, Frank, did you hear about how like Pornhub is going to be going to HTTPS? So they're going to be switching to the secure thing, like how like when you log onto your bank website or whatever.
Well, no, Ian, I didn't know about that. I don't go to such sites.
You a damn lie.
But I know Doug probably does.
Any man who says that he doesn't is a damn lie.
Goddamn liar.
Yeah, I jerked it twice since you started your first sentence there.
Oh. There are two types of people: people that jerk off and fucking liars.
So there's jerk-offs and there's liars.
Yeah.
Well, Doug,
Well, there's actually 3 types of people: people who jerk it, people who lie, and people like Ben who are just jacking it.
just jacking it. Yeah, we try to invite Doug. Frank and sent a message to him too. Not sure what's
Doug. There
going
he
on
is.
with
He's
him.
right there.
No, did I say Doug? I meant Ben.
Because they look just alike.
Oh, we tried. You said you messaged him.
Yes, it is.
So maybe he's doing date night on Saturdays instead. And he switched it for him.
Maybe he's just jacking it.
He's just jacking it. Maybe he's on Twitter going, check out my Tumblr, check out my Tumblr, check out my Tumblr.
Check out my Tumblr. Check out my Tumblr. Tumblr. Well, he won't be posting any photo bucket on his Tumblr. I don't think.
As he pays for $400.
Yeah. Then we could see some of his cartoon strips then. Anyways, Doug, are you going to be having a podcast next week or what?
If I can get my setup correct, yes. It all depends if I can get my setup going.
Like, what else do you need to do to it? You said you want to make your space look good there? I mean, you going to buy some
lights?
Yeah, some LEDs?
Yeah, mainly, and just, I might see if I can get a better webcam for it. It just depends on how that goes. And if I can get, I might see if I can get another system up and running to just run for the Hangouts themselves and do like nothing else. I might try something like that. That way I can devote all the system resources to broadcasting and maybe doing some other stuff too, but we'll see. It all depends.
You going to try to get a free system just for the Hangouts? Free scrap system like your other one?
Well, what I'll probably end up doing is just saying, fuck it, and going with a simple Ubuntu system, one that I built, and just kind of go from there. Because I have enough components to build at least a small mid-level system back there. I'm going to have to go about it a certain way if I want it to work in time. We'll see. We shall see.
Well, you definitely got to get some RGB in there. What do you think about the LED craze? Oh, you don't like the RGB shit?
Fuck no. Fucking stupid. Okay, so here's my thing, okay? As it comes to RGB, fucking stupid, okay? And here's why. All right? When you take a look at how much fucking electricity you're wasting on RGB, when you take a look at how fucking ridiculous half the time it looks and having to devote system resources that could be better used to, actually doing computer fucking shit instead of, oh my goodness, it has an RGB controller built into the operating system. Oh my goodness, it'll blink one way, it'll blink another way.
Mine plugs into the wall.
Yeah, we're just talking about, like stuff on your wall or whatever, or, like room decorations. We're not talking about the actual tower part. I mean, what about, don't you want to get one of those RGB light bulbs that you can control with your iPhone? Or like Siri or whatever?
Just give me a fucking system and a fucking area that works. I don't do all that accoutrement shit. Posters, pictures on the wall, yeah, we good on that. But seriously, come on.
Well, like this is RGBW. You don't even have, it doesn't have to be like a color. You could just have the white on there. It'd be like a natural color then. See?
I don't do all that shit.
Well, wait a minute. What kind of light bulbs do you have? You should be like LED is the future, man. Aren't you converting all your light bulbs to LEDs? I mean, they last longer.
But I don't have RGB in every fucking place in my house.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, you don't have to have. I'm just saying LEDs in general. I wasn't sure if you were gonna say you're anti-LED now or something. What about you, Frank? Are all yours like regular light bulbs or high efficiency or something?
If I can buy them that way, yeah. We just actually bought new bulbs for this lamp we have downstairs, and the ones we bought were not the socket that screws into is even smaller than a standard one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Luckily, we had some that fit. So, but they're the old, you know, like I don't know if there was that fluorescent or whatever. They're not the spiral kind. They're actual bulbs.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to find a light. I've been trying to find a light bulb for my one desk lamp that it just has like a flexible neck on it, but it has like one of those refrigerator size threads for the light bulb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is one of those ones with like it's like metal bendable lights. It's got like 8 bulbs on it or something.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have good lighting on your setup, Doug. Even if you don't have RGB or not.
Well, I'm
lighting
gonna
is
have
important.
lighting. You know, all you really need to make a simple lighting fixture is a shop light and a shower cap.
Shower cap.
Oh, you're not going to be like those YouTubers that have all these soft boxes everywhere that you probably trip over.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm of the opinion that, I mean, there are things I'd love to have for my rig and my setup as far as producing videos and whatnot, but having all these extra fucking bits and whatnot, dip, nah, fuck that. I mean, I like running things nice and basic. I don't do fucking jump cuts in my YouTube videos as a standard. I don't do fucking fills and fucking fillers and shit like that. I would run it just fucking simple and basic, and that's it. That's the way I've always done it. When I was fucking racking up views on Podomatic, it was all basic. It was just a bunch of dudes sitting around bullshitting. That's all it ever was. That's all it ever will be as far as the Crush Cast goes. You know,
right.
All these people who are like, well, we have to do and this, and I'm like, man, is it really necessary? Is it needed? I mean, I don't believe it is. I never have.
Yeah. Well, I would never be like those YouTubers. Like, if I started doing vlogs and stuff, I would never be like, what is like that Casey Neistat that he uses like a DSLR he carries everywhere just for vlogging himself. Like, for one, that's got to be like really heavy and bulky. Two, you probably look weird as heck just having this giant camera pointed at you all the time. Like, I would only get like a decent like, you know, like cam that's made for video, not like a photography camera.
I think the main issue that's going on with vloggers right now is that this culture has almost become a monster in the social space. Or, you know, I like things like VidCon and other types of social media conventions. But it's almost like anywhere you go, someone's vlogging. One event, fucking 40 fucking people are vlogging. You know, they're vlogging here, they're vlogging there. Like, you know what? Sometimes you have to fucking stop and actually enjoy your life instead of consistently doing nothing but
making a production of it.
You know,
yeah.
It's unfortunate that people are basically making a production out of their life. And to be quite honest, that essentially is what it is.
Yeah, I would always feel like I'd have to be entertaining and stuff, and like I would never be able to relax. It'd be like a lot of anxiety, you know.
I think that's one thing that most people don't think about when they're, you know, jumping into the YouTube game is, you know, I mean, I've been on YouTube for 5 years. And I've gone through lulls where it's been, one of the best things I've ever done, or the amount of hate I got on one video, it was just stunning. The amount of hate that I got on that video, and the amount of shit you take, and the type of pressure you put on yourself to put up fantastic content. It's just fucked up.
Right. Well, hey, if you're not getting hate, then you're doing something wrong, though.
Not necessarily. No, trust me. The type of hate I was getting for this particular video, oh man, it was just music to my ears.
All right. Well, so that's about all we got to cover this week.
Yeah, sure, Frank. Unless you have anything else to say there.
My back hurts, so I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, his back has been hurting, Doug. Like he's like having like a shooting pain that shoots up his leg and stuff too, or something.
Yeah. So sitting in the same spot for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
So
all of his back hurts, and maybe he should stop spending all of his time on it.
Yo, mama.
Weakest
right,
comeback ever. -5 points from Gryffindor.
Anyway, so we have a Doug and Ian and Ben, even though his ass isn't here anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having
Doug,
me.
for coming. Sure, man.
New content coming, bitches.
Oh shit.
Bullet Club in the house.
Shot of scissor up.
Some lean.
Goodbye and good night.